Welcome to Drinkin Bros, presented by GhostBed.com. Welcome to Drinkin Bros Sports Companion Show. We're coming live to you this afternoon. COVID-free, Dan.
Yeah, well,
COVID-free.
most of us.
We don't know about Giorgio and his grinder date, but we've got our assumptions.
I was so I was at a dinner last night with a bunch of people, a bunch of Marines for the Marine Corps birthday. Speaking of grinder,
wait. Speaking of you, happy Veterans Day, buddy.
Oh, thanand
Yes. And it was the Marine's birthday last night.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who were you out with last night?
A bunch of people, friend Dakota, and later on at WTF Ice House, we spent some time with Jamie from Rogan's show. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah, what's his story in real life?
Sports fan from Columbus, Ohio, so he's probably an Ohio State fan. You got
come on, man. Let's get him on for the show. Then we'll pick some sports.
We'll try to get him on for one of the sports shows for sure. He's a super funny guy. Mm-hmm. It's good to see people like that out of their element and see that they're still really like good at what they do. Obviously smart. He looks shit up so goddamn fast. I don't know how he does it.
Was he on his phone all night looking shit up?
No. No, I think maybe he's got that fucking Elon Musk chip or something.
Maybe, man.
Because he's just so quick on everything.
Yeah. There's people that are just fucking born like that where you're just like, all right, cool, man. I get it.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
I get it. Maybe it is Maybelline. Did you guys have fun last night? Did you tear it down?
Yeah. We raged pretty good.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
As we do. And Kai, big dude at the front, one of the Drinkin Bros Austin admins actually gave me a ride home.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at that.
I mean, I was just going to walk. It's like 12-minute walk. He's like, no, I'll take him. Like,
welcome to Austin, Texas.
Do this, yeah.
That's great. I crashed out early last night, actually. I woke up to a handful of messages saying, Fake Dan lost me some money on the Tuesday night game. Who was Tuesday night? I didn't even...
Little action. Yeah.
Was it really?
Buffalo, Miami of Ohio. I guess Buffalo's covered 13 straight.
Gross.
Going back to last year. Guess who faded Buffalo?
Yeah. No shock there. We will get to Dirty Dan's filthy picks of the week. You got a new neon sign. Put that up, Giorgio. Let's see that thing. Look at that. We're going to build you guys a real live set, by the way. And you'll be able to play against these guys on Twitch and video games. And then we're going to build a man cave, too, so we can have some more live reaction shows.
Watch some UFC.
Yeah, we're gonna build out Drinkin Bros Sports, man, is what we're going to do. And try to take the next barstool jump in this.
Yeah, it looks like we're actually going to have a new show on pretty soon. So we're going to expand the sports show to more days. Mm-hmm. But we're also going to be bringing on some additional talent.
Yeah,
which will be good. Both informational stuff, and then there's one that will be primarily gambling. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
With a new set of guys, so it's going to be pretty fun.
And that's the future is sports gambling, because as you're watching this stuff, it's fun to have a few ducats on it. And then today's Giorgio's audition day to see if he can replicate his UFC success from the last match. Giorgio, is the pressure getting to you?
A little bit. You want this whole card, or you just want the infights?
Oh wow! Really? Do I want the whole card? Yes, and I'll tell you what. At the end of the show, I will do a fast pick. We'll do a breeze through here, and we'll go one by one. And I want to see. We'll test your knowledge, dude. You and Fake Dan have stepped up this year. You and I were the only ones to pick fucking Khabib. Surprising.
Well, I mean, look, there was a technical reason why I said it, and I was clearly wrong about both Gaethje and Khabib. Like you gotta honestly. It's unfortunate if we don't get to see him fight again. Not that I particularly enjoy seeing him fight, but I want to see if it's even possible for somebody to beat that guy.
He'll be back.
He'll be back.
Super brave of you, Ross.
He'll be back.
The minus 400 favorite.
No, look, not that at all. It's one of those things where when I saw him in real life, and Dan and I talk about this on the show actually for years. When you're able to see these people up close in real life, and you get a sense of how big they are or truly how they dominate, it really does affect your gambling on this. And like, dude, not to brag, 'cause obviously we have Drinkin Bros tickets.com, but we get the best tickets there are. So we're right down there on the field, or usually we have field passes. Fake Dan, you're new to this, but typically we have field passes to all this shit. I'll never forget you, me, and your brother front row for Trevor Lawrence. Where
yeah, in NC State, yeah.
Because I questioned it on TV. He kind of looked like a giraffe, like a loping type of dude.
No,
and I was like, hey, man, is he really the first pick in the draft? Like, and I saw him in person. And I was like, oh, my God, he's an Adonis at like 6'5", jacked. Like, yes, he is the first pick in the draft for sure. But had I not gone to that game, I might have had questions. The other one that really opened my eyes up to gambling and the world was that LSU-Oklahoma CFP game last year. I sat with a bunch of NFL GMs. One of them came on the show, the GM for the Colts.
Yeah, that guy's great, by the way.
God damn it, he was good. He came by the show, but I got a first-class lesson in like spreads and why people are able to just stomp the shit out of each other and everything else. And with Oklahoma, because that was LSU fans got on my ass. I took Oklahoma in the points in that game. It was 14.5. I don't know if you did. Do you remember that game last year?
Yeah, no, I took the over.
You took the over. Well,
smashed the over.
We all did. Everybody took the over, right? But what I parlayed that with, and when I took a straight bet on, was also 14.5. I just thought it was too big for a college football game. And much like the NFL, whenever I see like the Jets game, I bet the Jets game on Monday night, it was 10.5.
Also, you have that Alabama pedigree with Jalen Hurts.
Yeesh. So, well, no, that was yes, yeah, you're right. That was Jalen Hurts when he got absolutely destroyed. But Justin Jefferson had 4 TDs in that game. Where we were sitting in this like private suite, like I was able to see the field like I was playing a video game for whatever reason. This one part of the stadium, and I was like, oh shit, I could see this defense get picked apart. And you were able to tell why Oklahoma would never win a national championship again without defense. Like, I mean, it was fucking insane. But that's the advantage you have on some of this shit. So with like Khabib, when I saw him destroy, you and I were together for that fight.
Yeah.
When we saw him destroy McGregor
He
like
picked
that,
him apart.
it wasn't even close. And like, dude, I'd seen McGregor fight in the past, man, at Madison Square Garden when he won the champ belt. And I was like, holy shit, McGregor's the best. And then Khabib just tore his fucking face off.
Yeah.
Therefore, I was like, well, I don't think you're beating this guy. And I don't even know who he's fighting next if he comes out of retirement. But we can call it now that he's not going to lose that fight either.
Yeah, because he's going to fight GSP at like 45 or whatever he is.
Is that what it is?
No, it's not going to be at 45. It's probably going to be like 60 or 62.
No,
it's going to be a higher
saying-
catch weight than
I'm
what
saying
Khabib
how
is
old
now.
he is.
No, age-wise. Is
Age-wise.
GSP 45?
I don't know. He's old as shit.
Yeah, we'll check that age real quick.
I
But
think he's 41.
have you seen him without a shirt
No,
on recently?
He's 39, so he's my age.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, man.
He'll be
Probably
dead.
on the same good that Dan's on.
Yeah.
Well, no, he can't pass USADA on all the stuff I'm on. Let's
Well,
be real,
he's
brother.
he's non-competing right now.
Right now, yeah, but I don't know how long it takes to cycle that shit out of your system. But
I'm sure a doctor does.
yeah, I mean, Balco figured it out.
Yeah, they did.
Tony Bosch, that guy. I don't know. Have you seen that documentary on Netflix?
Yes.
It's really good. I mean, it's fun. That guy's wild as shit.
Yeah.
But that documentary is actually really good because you can see how, for Alex Rodriguez specifically, he had it down to like minutes and hours. Like they knew when the windows for testing would be, so he would take just enough to get what he needed, and so it would be out of his system at a certain time. Like he was like chewing on gummies in the
In the seventh inning, like crazy
so
shit.
If he didn't have if they were losing really badly, or he didn't have another at bat coming up,
Yeah.
he wouldn't take it. But if he did, he would, and it was an important moment, and shit like that. I mean, it was wild the way they were deciding how to do that stuff. But anyways, yeah, you're right. A doctor would know that.
Yeah. So, shit, we'll see. Who knows? What do you think, dude? Gut feeling. GSP, is he on the Joyce?
Probably not. I mean, that's such
Tough to say,
a
right?
loaded statement
I
right now
know.
because like
Everybody's on something.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm on TRT.
That's what Izzy said, right?
yeah, it's what's legal and what's not legal, what's good for you, what's not good for you, you know.
Like all of a sudden, stuff is illegal.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Like
All of a sudden it becomes a banned substance when it
An-
wasn't.
Yeah, like Andro in the late '90s in baseball was everywhere.
Dude,
Everybody's taking
I used to buy
androdystine.
Andro at GNC.
Yeah.
It was over the counter, man.
Yeah, I mean that seems more like a regulatory issue than it does a personal issue. Like UFC is actually doing a pretty good job of it now to have like I mean, obviously like any other sports organization, they have a banned substance list, but they also have an approved supplement list. You know what I mean? Which can, that can become problematic if they're trying to use it to push certain products. But hey, they're their own industry. Fucking
Yes.
the NBA.
Yeah, we
may-
had that in college too. Like it was
Yeah.
like if you need protein, if you need
you get it from
pre-workout,
us,
you
yeah.
need this. You just like these are the ones you can buy.
But why would you not do that? To be honest, that makes sense to do that. So,
Yeah.
a lot of fighters and a lot of athletes over time have bitched about it. But look, every single fucking jersey has the same goddamn.
Well,
team,
sometimes those
the
vats
same
though,
logo
those
on it.
Chinese freaking supplements though, they don't know what they're mixing
Also,
in one, mixing
who
in
knows
the
what
other,
cocaine's
trace elements.
cut with?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
knows.
Well, I mean, I want it to be cut with nothing, preferably.
Yeah, preferably. But right now, you try
A
to get
razor
that
blade.
in the U.S. Yeah, it's more stepped on than a Britney Spears video. So whatever, man. Real quick, Giorgio, before we hop into the show, you got to live out a dream last week and go to jiu-jitsu with Mr. Tim Kennedy.
Yeah, he invited me to the Gracie Gym here in Austin, which is awesome. There's a few Drinkin Bros fans that actually go to that Tuesday practice. We had about
No shit.
30 or 40 guys with us. It was awesome. Yeah, I really
That's
recommend
rad,
it. Yeah.
man. Brandon Harrell hit me up.
Yeah, that was the one. That was one of the guys who talked to me when I was there. Yeah.
Brandon's a old school homie of ours, man. He's the best. But he goes, he texted me after he got out of there, and he goes, "Ask Giorgio if he had any fun." And I was like, "Why? Did he get killed? Did he not, or whatever?" And he started laughing. He goes, "No, I've never seen a guy with a bigger smile on his face for an entire workout than Giorgio." So he said he had a blast.
I just love touching dudes. It's just so much fun, and I hadn't done it in so long. And then like Tim's really buff and like really muscular, so I got to touch all that.
He is a fucking brick
I
wall.
got
That
a
guy.
full handful of pec,
Yeah.
and then he rubbed his nipple on my mouth and kind of dripped some sweat on me.
Yep.
it was good. It
Yeah.
was good. Yeah.
What's happening?
Which shouldn't be happening.
Fuck are we
This
talking
is when
about
we tell
here?
Giorgio to turn off the microphone.
Yeah.
But we will come back to you for your UFC picks. This is it's going to be a tough one, kids. I'm going to be honest with you here, man. Everybody is going down. Are we gonna wide the show, or are we going to singles at all? I'm just curious because I'll keep an eye on line. By the way, it wasn't me being a dick, but it's going to be a tough week. COVID is shutting down a lot of sports. Breaking news, Ohio State, their game has been canceled. Not because of Ohio State, by the way. I think they herd immunity behind the scenes. It is because of Maryland, those dirty little turtles, man. They did not, and that game is canceled. Alabama LSU is canceled. Every LSU fan, though, is really excited about that, and I don't blame you for that one. Also, breaking news for LSU, it appears as if quarterback Miles Brennan is unlikely to return this season, probably for the best. I think they're, 2-3, 2-4 at this point. Mississippi State, are they canceled? Or is it Texas A&M? Texas A&M is canceled as well.
It'd be easier to say what's still happening.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's just Florida and Arkansas right now.
Florida and Arkansas, the only teams from the SEC.
And Pittman has COVID, so Barry Odom's going to be the coach for Arkansas.
For Arkansas.
Little
If that
Felipe
means
Frank's
anything.
revenge game.
He was the worst. He was the worst quarterback in Florida.
The difference in this Ohio State Maryland thing, though, is that it's canceled. It's not postponed. Like they're not playing this game now.
Correct.
Which
And-
is fine. If you're SEC, you're fine with that. But if that happens with Pac-12, your season's you have to play all those games at least. You would think, right?
So here's the deal with the Big Ten that I want to get into is they had said originally.
What were they? 3 weeks late?
Yeah, they were 3 or 4 weeks late. But
So I think if you're ACC, Big Ten, or
no, ACC and SEC is fine.
And SEC, I
but
think
the
you're
Big
going to be
Ten
fine.
had no room for error. So if you cancel a game because they were going to play 8 conference games,
Right.
You were now down to 7.
They had no wiggle room at all.
None. And I after Lawrence last weekend testing positive and then Notre Dame beating them in double overtime, I have to wonder if you look at a game like Maryland and you're like, great, they're not rescheduling that. That point spread probably would have been 35, somewhere in there for Ohio State. I don't think that's probably going to affect the playoffs. If they missed Penn State or Michigan or somebody like that, it might. But I wonder this year, man, if they're just going to say, all right, we're going to do the eye test and see who the best looking teams are.
Yeah.
But that'll lead me to this, Dan. Like, dude, who is that 4th team then? Because I have a hard time penalizing Clemson for playing without Lawrence. And I understand the Notre Dame bitch fest of, well, he's a 5-star recruit, one of the number 1 quarterbacks in the nation. He was
He's
playing
been
for
taking
Clemson.
snaps on the practice squad for the last 6 months, dude. Come on.
He was not ready for that.
No.
And my prediction.
But he is a very good
He is,
quarterback.
and he is the future.
Yeah,
Jesus
he's
Christ.
going to
Clemson-
win at least one Heisman Trophy. I would be surprised if he doesn't win it next year, to be honest, with the team that they're bringing back, because Lawrence is going to be gone.
Lawrence will
and
be gone. Justin Fields
is
going to
be gone.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's, in
He'll
my
have a
opinion,
great
that guy's
shot
the
at it.
front runner right now for Heisman.
I agree.
The problem with Notre Dame, though, is they don't have any fucking – it's not a problem for them. It's a problem for the league. They've got 4 games left, and it's BC, UNC, Syracuse, and Wake Forest, right?
Watch out for that UNC game.
Yeah, that one could be problematic
for
them, for sure.
Upset for me. But here's the thing.
Because it's in North Carolina, so that's that could be a problem. They play pretty hard, those guys.
Yeah, Mac will have the boys fired up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Mac Brown will be fine. But my question is,
and that'd
this,
be a big
man,
win for them too.
Because I had beers with a huge Notre Dame fan on Sunday. At Twisted X Brewery, by the way, a local brewery here that I love. He was saying, he was like, hey, man, I love your guys' sports show. You guys don't really miss that much. Does Notre Dame make it to the playoffs if they get stomped by Lawrence when they come back for the ACC championship?
I don't think Fake Dan thinks it's going to be a play-in game, which is possible. When I say play-in,
I would love to see it.
When I say play-in game, I mean the ACC championship would determine which one of those 2 teams goes to the top 4, to the CFP, right? I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case because I'm looking down this list at Texas A&M and Florida and Cincinnati and BYU and Miami and Indiana and so on and so forth, and I'm not seeing any team that would be better than a one-loss Notre Dame team that beat Clemson, frankly. Even with the backup quarterback, I don't see any other team that would be better than them. I think you have to assume it's going to be Alabama, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Clemson at this point.
Let me throw this hypothetical at you because on this schedule, if it sticks, and again, with COVID nuking out every fucking game on the planet right now, I've always had this game marked on my calendar. I think UNC is going to beat Notre Dame. So let's assume that happens, okay? Just for funsies here.
If UNC beats Notre Dame?
If UNC beats Notre Dame.
Well, then it is a play-in game for Notre Dame at least.
Right, but if Notre Dame has 2 losses, then who gets that 4th seed? Because after this weekend, man, Georgia got fucking smoked, and I was incorrect on that, man. I had loved Georgia's defense this year, and I thought for sure they could beat Florida because we put money on Florida early in the year, and they got beat by I want to say it was Ole Miss or somebody like that, and I just don't see Florida being that team.
I don't know, man.
Cincinnati or a BYU sneak in there when they've been playing great?
Yeah, but I mean, you have to measure them against the talent they've played against too, and that's why. I mean, ultimately, the rankings are determined by an algorithm, right? I mean, you get assigned points based on wins, but also wins on the road, how much you win by, the strength of schedule for your team and the other team, and all this other bullshit goes into it, right?
Well, it's a committee.
It is a committee. So
but they use those numbers. That's what the AP
do.
The AP rankings are that, but they use those numbers, and it's always a big story when they disagree with the numbers. But I think this year might be one of those years where disagreeing with the numbers would make sense, right? Because you're using a much smaller sample size. You're also using a diluted sample size because Cincinnati isn't playing any good teams.
No,
right.
Don't worry about Cincinnati. We're gonna take care of Cincinnati.
Who's we?
UCF.
Oh, boy.
We're gonna bone our entire conference by beating Cincinnati.
Probably. I mean, that's if the Cowboys were a conference.
I don't have it. That quarterback for Cincinnati has been excellent here. I'm gonna read you the playoff predictor right now. Okay?
Florida hung 44 on Georgia, and let's be real.
No.
Georgia does have one of the best defenses in the entire country. That's a fact. You could say
they did not.
You could say because of that
Saturday.
game that they didn't, but great offense can beat great defense sometimes. It happens that way if the schemes are not correct.
I lost a lot of money on that game. I won a lot of money on BYU. I look, college this week I was no buoyance. I was I only bet 3 games. I was 1-2. I lost the Georgia game. I hammered. I went big on all 3 games. I bet BYU, which they were fine. Georgia, who got hammered, and then there was one more. It was Clemson. I actually took Clemson over Notre Dame. That's what it was. But looking at the predictor here, so I'll read this off to you in the exact numbers. So, Dan, you're a big numbers guy here. This is the exact percentage of the playoff predictor. So out of the teams that are in the top 25 currently, Alabama is at 90% to make the playoffs. I agree with that. Number 2 is Ohio State at 74%. I agree with that. I agree with that mostly because the Big Ten looks weak, by the way. And I'll be fully ready to admit that.
I mean, this is the worst the Big Ten's been in since I've been watching college football.
I agree.
To be honest,
I 100% agree.
I mean, Ohio State's great, but that's it.
That is it in that conference. And I have no problem saying that SEC is the best league this year, and that's fine. Usually I take fucking heat for all this, but I'm with you guys on this one. Notre Dame, interestingly enough, is in at 3 at 46%. Technically, yes, this week they would be. But here's the weird part. Clemson is right behind them at number 4 at 45%, as far as the all-state playoff predictor goes. So they think your theory is coming true. I think UNC is going to throw a wrench into this. The weird one to me is Wisconsin at 5 at 41%, and to my knowledge, they've only played one game this year.
Yeah. And
what are you going to do about that?
They're down to like their third string quarterback, but that's COVID related. So I think they're all coming back whenever they're healthy and shit.
Yep.
So this week when they're playing Michigan this weekend.
Is it still on?
Yeah, it looks like
okay, great.
It's 6:30 on
that's a night game
on Saturday. Yeah.
Great.
So it's yeah, I mean it's that one's still on, but I don't know, are all their people coming back or what's that look like?
It's 21 days.
21 days, yeah, man.
Because the Big Ten has their own policy.
Those kids are going to be out.
So they're rocking like third string people?
It'll have to be Vanden Boom or whoever for Wisconsin.
Danny Vanden Boom.
Yeah. Right after that is Oregon at 27%. Look,
that's not going to happen.
No, that's not going to happen.
Let me throw a team out there for you. They're going to hype this team up. You got the coaching pedigree. You got Jimbo Fisher, A&M. Their only loss is Alabama.
Yeah, and they fucking spanked Florida pretty good too.
Absolutely.
I mean, they actually looked really good. They're probably the best team in Texas right now.
But it depends on how they play in the SEC championship.
Yeah.
So,
well, or if they get there, Are they? Which division are they in?
They're in the West.
They're in the West. But after that, we got BYU at 23%, which is low. You got Florida at 18%, which is low to me, and then Cincinnati at 10% down here. It's a long, weird season, man. I have a feeling that one of these weird teams is going to grab that 4th seed, but we'll see. If COVID keeps knocking out these games, though, your safest bet if you're on the CFP is to pick the biggest schools and throw Notre Dame in
even
there.
It's a committee and it's blind. It's not like they published individual votes from the committee or anything like that. But still, there's a lot of pressure involved there, and I think it's a bigger risk to bring in a team like Cincinnati and have them get fucking smoked, even if they're a little bit better than Florida.
Right.
Than have Florida come in and get smoked because, it's Florida. They're still in the SEC. Like, you can't remember when who was it? Was it Notre Dame that Clemson just fucking steamrolled? A couple, it was
it was
30 something to 3 or some shit. Like, they look terrible. That's embarrassing, but you can get away with it because it's Notre Dame. Notre Dame just got beat. Like, that's a major school with a major program. If you bring in Cincinnati and they get fucking housed, everybody's going to be like, what about my team? What about this thing? And it's going to be that's something that's so severe. It could lead to rule changes in the future, and usually administrators try to avoid that kind of shit.
But if there's ever a year to do it, you kind of
it would be this year.
You have a built-in excuse.
Yeah.
You just throw them a bone. You'd be like, all right, we're going to throw Cincinnati in, and if they get steamrolled, like, your argument's over.
Right.
Like, the Americans just not ever going to be considered for the playoff ever again.
Yeah, I agree. So as you know, to start all these shows, we'll talk about our wins and losses because, look, we want to be upfront about it and honest about it. Our lock of the week this week was actually in the NFL last week, and it was the Ravens -2 points.
That was ridiculous. What the fuck?
So the max bet at my bookie was $2,000.
Yeah.
We both.
I'm surprised they let that much go. I mean, that.
Well, you know what's weird is so we got it at -2 on this show, right? We maxed it out at $2,000, but at kickoff it was -1. So everybody apparently was betting the Colts in that.
Yeah,
and,
I don't get it, man. I mean, look, there's something going on with the Ravens right now. And I don't know.
I'm glad you brought that up. So there was a breaking news story today.
I don't know if this is an excuse because he's been playing poorly, but Lamar Jackson is saying that before and after plays, the defense is calling out their play as he's calling it.
Yes.
So what the fuck is happening there? Like, did their playbook get leaked? You know what I mean? Like,
I will take the heat for this one all the way because I took it last year and I said it would happen this year. I don't think Lamar Jackson is that dude who will win a Super Bowl. I got trashed last year for saying that because he looked great, and then they got to the first round and they got absolutely smoked.
Right.
I still don't think Lamar Jackson is that dude. I mean, with the talent surrounding him on offense, your boy Andrews at tight end, Hollywood Brown is great. J.K. Dobbins is great. I know Mark Ingram's been a little injured this year.
But he's still a quality running back.
Yes,
for sure.
And Lamar Jackson's running skills, like, dude, you have the talent on that team. I think they've figured him out, and I think the rest of his stretch is going to be a a long road, and I don't think he'll win another MVP or anything else. That is my prediction.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's having a pretty good year this year, to be honest. His overall rating is 95. That's not great. That's B plus, right?
It is, but consider the year he had last year, the MVP year.
Yeah, he was at 113 last year. Yeah. And I guess he's on pace to go sub 8, so he's going to lose about 25 or so % of his touchdowns from last year at this rate. Passing touchdowns, at least.
Right.
So that's obviously something you want to fucking keep an eye on when a guy regresses that much. Although he does have, he is on pace with the rushing stuff now. We'll see what happens. I think I agree with you, though. I mean, a guy that consistently completes passes in the low 60s is probably not going to win a Super Bowl, because you've got to be one of these guys. You have to be either a game manager who is very accurate, right? Or you have to be a fucking dynamic quarterback like fucking Breeze or Rodgers or fucking or one of these guys, or Brady, right? It doesn't seem like he's got that. But look, they put such great defenses together there. Mm-hmm. There is a pretty decent chance over the next 5 years he will win a Super Bowl. It may or may not be because of him, but with the defenses they put out on the field, there's at least some chance. I mean, the Rams came close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And that team fucking sucked.
Garbage
with the amount of
town
talent they
USA.
had. With the amount of talent they had, their performance was goddamn terrible, and they still almost won a fucking Super Bowl.
I know they were close. Let's get to our other wins in the NFL. So Packers 49ers was that led off the Thursday night game. We bet this all 6 ways and won all 6 ways on this one. There was a last-minute garbage touchdown in that 49ers game that beat the over for everybody. But we took the Packers minus 6.5. We took the over in this one. We took the teasers at +6. That was literally, there were 6 different ways to bet that game. We won all 6 ways in that game. Bills Seahawks on that teaser-wise. I had that. That was Bills with the 6-point teaser was +9.5. They ended up smoking the Seahawks anyways. Look, Bills needed that win against a great team. I'm not going to look at that and say the Seahawks are fucking losing anything whatsoever.
No, those are 2 really good teams playing. Somebody's got to lose. That's
and
how
traveling, it is, from Seattle to New York to play that game. Buffalo.
that's what LaDuca said on the show the other day too.
Yeah, that was a tough one, but we had that. That was a big win. Titans Bears was a 6.5 spread. They won by 7. That was fine. Obviously, we won $2,000 on the Raiders. That was fine. Here's the team that I really want to fucking talk to everybody about here, because I don't know what to do, and I think we're all in agreement. Well, me and Dan in particular here, right? The Chiefs are the greatest team in the league. They are 8-1.
Right.
They are not covering these fucking games, and it's fucking up everybody's betting, and it's fucking up everybody's parlays. I told you guys beforehand, parlays are junky shit, and I've been very successful this year, and it's been amazing, but it's really fucking hard, man. And you have a team like the Chiefs, they fucked up the parlay, man.
Yeah, I mean, just because the team is great, it's one of the, and this is why people talk so much shit to fucking Fake Dan and anybody. They think you're a fucking gambling junkie if you're going after these no-name games. No, those are where the fucking deals are, man.
Right.
There's a better chance of that outcome, and also the fucking rate of return is better, right, than betting on the goddamn Chiefs. I mean,
if Vegas has the NFL down.
Yeah. They're really good at the NFL. I mean,
there's no league they have down better than the NBA or the NFL.
Correct.
So
I definitely agree with that. And you see, when you look down the records of teams against the spread, nobody is 8-0 and nobody is 0-8. They're all somewhere in the middle, which means the play on the field is genuinely determining the outcome of these games. Vegas has it pretty spot on. It's one play here, one play there that's determining 3 to 7 points that are changing shit. And look, with a team like Kansas City, they felt probably this year their only real threat in their league was the Ravens, probably, right?
Yeah.
I think Pittsburgh's a little bit of a threat because that defense is fucking monster.
Yeah.
And they're playing pretty well on offense, but I think in their head, the Ravens were the only real threat over there, or at least maybe in Mahomes' head, because look, he and fucking Jackson are the same age.
Yep.
Right? Been playing about the same. I think Mahomes has got 1 year on him, but both have been pretty successful so far. I think it's pretty clear that Mahomes is in Lamar Jackson's head. right? And I think maybe because of that, like dominating so much, even that loss they took, I don't think it stung like it should have. I think they're still like, whatever. We'll win when it's time to. So I don't wonder.
How do you bet the Chiefs going forward, man?
No, I don't know. And it's interesting for his personal career as well. Same thing with Tom Brady. Tom Brady was on really successful teams, so he did what it took to win. But imagine, I mean, we saw what happened when Tom Brady got a number one deep threat and went all out. He fucking threw 50 fucking touchdowns. You know what I mean? I wonder at the end of his career what Mahomes' numbers are really going to look like. He's going to have a lot of completions and things like that, but is he going to have the yards and touchdown numbers that people that are in his same class like Favre and fucking Breeze have? You know
I'm glad you brought that up. So I watched this entire Chiefs game because we had money on it, and there was a parlay that I had that was literally just hinged on this Chiefs win, and I was like, no big deal. And the way that I had bet it was a 6-point teaser down. It was from 10.5 to 4.5. So they only had to beat the Panthers, who were fucking terrible, by a touchdown at home. And I was like, I'm watching this game, and I'm like, I don't understand why Mahomes doesn't light it up. And then I look at his stats. He threw for 372 and 4 touchdowns in that game. You would never have known that because of the ease at which he does things.
You expect it. I mean, it's not a story when Steph Curry comes out and drains a couple threes in a row. I mean, people look at it like, holy shit, this guy can't fucking miss. But at the end of the day, if you look at stat lines at the end of the day and you see Steph and Clay combining for like 10 threes in a game, it's not that big a deal. They do that shit all the time, and he does it. It's more of a story when he doesn't put up gaudy numbers. You know what I mean? And I think that's going to become a thing for them over time. He's so good.
Fake Dan, look.
To be fair, Kansas City's 6-3 against the spread.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, Carolina's pretty squirrely. Like I believe in Matt. Matt Rule's a good coach. They brought in Joe Brady from LSU.
It was McCaffrey's first game back. He looked great. I had him in fantasy. My fantasy teams are getting torched this year because of injuries, but he came back and scored 38 points for me, McCaffrey, this last weekend. I just find so much frustration in this team where it's like, man, if they tried, they could win every game by 60. Even at the end of this game, they were still up by fucking 12 points, and then they let this garbage touchdown in where it was like, hey, man, you know if they score, they're still an onside kick away from possibly beating you. That's exactly what happened. They brought the fucking kicker in, that Sly. He's a bigger gentleman for Carolina, and let him try a 67-yarder, which he had the distance on it, shockingly, but it was way, way, way far right. But the Chiefs could have lost that game.
Yeah.
One drop pass because they tried to get it maybe 10 yards closer towards the end. I was like, just for being lazy? So I don't know what to tell you as far as betting the Chiefs going forward. It is so frustrating to me where I'm like, man, because we went all in against the Baltimore, right?
Right.
That should have been their hardest game. They smoked the Ravens. The game I stayed away from was the Jets. It was minus 20.5.
Yeah.
But they covered that game.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the shit? I bet the Jets on Monday against the Patriots. It was 10.5. The Jets fucking covered.
Well, I mean, if they're 6-3 against the spread, that's still a good bet.
It's not bad. It's just that is the best team you could possibly put together, man. Win every game by 40. Show the dominance. I just don't understand this laziness. And like, I saw Patrick Mahomes with his helmet in the air after that. You know, that kid missed the field goal that would have lost them the game. And I was like, what are you amped about? All you had to do is chuck another touchdown. You would have beat him by 70.
Yeah, and that's why I think we'll see what happens with Mahomes' career because even as a young player, that's what Jordan had and Kobe had that nobody else in the league really did. Like they created whatever the fuck it was, drama, scenarios in their own goddamn head that didn't really exist.
Right.
Like perceived slights
yes.
to motivate them. And it doesn't seem like he's got that.
Well, nobody
honestly.
Talks shit to Pat Mahomes either. Like everybody is conceded in the NFL, all the players too.
Yeah.
That's, you know, he's the best and he's the Messiah and that's what's going to happen. And I agree with it. I wish he would play like Jordan or Kobe, but you can't.
I mean, it'll be a situation where good will be the enemy of great. Like he'll be good enough just doing what he's doing to beat everybody more often than not, and he won't become great.
Yep.
Not that he's not. I mean, he's a great player right now, but I mean, like he has the time, the tools, the talent, and the surrounding cast to be the best quarterback that's ever played football. Right? Put up the best numbers, win the most championships, whatever. If they can keep that team together.
Yeah.
And even just some semblance, like you see them moving parts in and out now. They figured it out. It's the old fucking Patriots thing. move. You don't sign 3 or 4 people in a year. You fucking sign people to 2 to 3 year deals and have them overlap. Where you fucking bring new dudes in and shit like that. And we'll see it this year in the draft. Hopefully, we'll start seeing the Chiefs draft the same way that the Patriots have, getting linebackers and offensive linemen in the first round instead of skill position players. If you start seeing that, they could create a dynasty there. So he's got all these opportunities. Everything looks right for him to be the best we've ever seen, right? Or at least in that conversation. And I wonder if good will be the enemy of great. If he's so much better than everybody else, he won't push himself to his full potential. Because there's a difference between being better than everybody that's playing right now and being the best of all time, obviously. And the difference is you can only really measure it in numbers. You know what I mean? Because it's sports. Yeah. It's the only way to really measure it. So you got to put up those numbers. If I'm Mahomes right now, I'm 24, whatever the fuck he is. I'm rich as shit. He's got a huge signing bonus.
$505 million.
Owns part of the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, owns part of the Royals.
He owns a goddamn baseball team.
If I'm him, the only thing that could possibly motivate me at this point would be no. The only thing that could possibly motivate me at this point is being like unquestionably the best player that's ever played. Yeah, that's the only thing, and that's a fucking grind. He's 24. He's probably got 12 more years, right? 12 more years left as a top performer in the NFL. It's a long time to keep your fucking focus. I mean, Michael Jordan even took a 1.5-year break. Let's be real about that.
Yeah, and look. Speaking of being 36 and trying to stay on top of your game, that'll lead me to the next one. It's the Steelers. I thought the Steelers were going to house the Cowboys.
Right.
That was not the case. They won 24-19. They're 8-0. They're the only undefeated team there. Roethlisberger, he's fucking that age that we're talking about right now with that sweet spot. If Mahomes is going to try to keep it going, Roethlisberger's 38 years old. He had 306 and 3 TDs, man. He's looked good. I don't know what happened in that Cowboys game because they were getting their asses kicked most of that game to a third-string quarterback that I have never heard of it.
You've never heard of Garrett Gilbert?
What's that?
Never heard of Garrett Gilbert?
Garrett?
No.
Garrett?
Is that who started for them?
Gilbert.
Yeah, that's who I guess.
He came in when Colt McCoy got hurt at the UT Alabama national championship game.
No, that was 60 years ago. Great.
19.
I mean, look, he was 21 for 38, which is not great. 243 yards. I mean, and Zeke, once again, terrible.
Terrible, man.
18 carries, 51 yards.
I've seen so many trades for Zeke in fantasy football, and
I've got him.
Do it. Trade him if you got him, man.
I don't even know if I'm going to trade him. I might just release him. I don't know who would even trade for him at this point.
Well, there's always a dummy out there, dude.
If there are any Cowboys fans in my league that want Zeke, I'll trade him for, I don't know, just send me some pills.
They don't want him either.
Yeah. And now they don't want him either.
I mean,
they want their pills.
He's taking up a roster space, and he's only putting out like fucking 5 to 8 points a week right now or something like that.
Never pay a running back more than minimum wage.
I agree. Look, and it's hard to argue against it, man, looking at the numbers here over the last 3 to 4 years.
I mean, the guys that have really lasted, it's like Frank
Gore,
TD, Terrell Davis.
He looks amazing. Frank Gore looked amazing on Monday night, by the way. It was crazy.
Frank Gore, who's that guy that was always playing for the fucking Packers? God, what was his goddamn name? I don't remember his name.
Shit.
But he was around forever.
Kuhn.
No, he was the fullback.
Fullback, but he played there for 30 fucking years. Was it Franks? No, Bubba Franks was their tight end. He played there for a long time too, man, and kept coming back. I know exactly what you're talking about. There was one running back who just played for 30 years.
And he played for the Packers a bunch. Yes. 2 different times, I think. I can't remember his goddamn name. Anyway.
They just kept bringing him back.
Amon Green.
No. Although I did meet Amon Green in Puerto Rico one time when I was 17. Huh? No, he was hanging out with a very attractive woman. Obviously, at the hotel, and it was the Ritz-Carlton in San Juan, Puerto Rico. I was down there playing baseball.
Okay.
And I saw him like, I know that guy. Who's that? Amon Green. Nobody else knew who he was. Because helmets. Fucking terrible. The NFL sucks at promoting their players unless you're a quarterback.
Dorsey Levens?
No, it wasn't Dorsey Levens, but I did like him. No,
there was a stripper we talked to on the show in Houston. Do you remember that show at Bucks Wild we did, you and I?
Yeah.
Live on the VIP. There was a stripper who was just like, I asked them who the biggest spenders were, and she said the NFL guys. because they're always wearing masks and they want to come in and make sure that everybody knows they play in the NFL because you don't get to see their face on TV. Makes sense.
Eddie Lacy, maybe I'm thinking of.
No, not Eddie Lacy.
He wasn't that old. He's the one that was always fat.
Was it a Williams?
I don't remember. Anyways,
look up Green Bay running back.
Yeah, I'm just looking at their
2011.
Okay, I'm looking at their like all-time rushing leaders. Amon Green's one.
No, he wouldn't be an all-time rushing leader. He just kept coming back over.
Yeah, no, he was just old as shit.
Look for like 2016 Green Bay running back. There's got to be somebody on the boards who knows this, and they're screaming it in our faces right now.
James Starks.
Starks was the guy that I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Starks came back and played every single year for them.
Yeah, but anyways,
thank you.
The list of running backs that have been successful into their 30s is very brief.
Yes.
I mean, you're talking about like
watching Frank Gore play, and Adrian Peterson, I guess.
Adrian Peterson's one, yeah, for sure.
But all the big contracts that have gone out the last 3 years for these guys, you look at Melvin Gordon, bust. You look at Le'Veon Bell, bust. Todd Gurley, bust. Like Devontae Freeman for the Falcons, bust.
Yep.
No reason to pay a running back. I'm with you. There's plenty of them. Going to the rest of these games here, I know I said this earlier in the season. I'm going to keep saying it. Brady is either Tom Brady or he's Joe Biden.
Yeah.
One or the other, and it's not pretty, man. That Sunday night game, when the announcers hate being there, and you can tell that they hate being there, it's a long night, and that was definitely a long night for them. Drew Brees looked great, man. He was 26-32 for 4 touchdowns. Brady looked like he was lost. They should have recounted the votes in Florida.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. It does like
every other game. He's great. He's Tom Brady.
Honestly, I feel like he's just getting used to the system. I think that's got to be it because it doesn't. When he looks good, he looks really good. He looks like Tom Brady, and when he doesn't, he doesn't. That's not how. That's not really how it works with fading quarterbacks. They don't have. I mean, yeah, they'll have great games here and there, but typically what you see is overall their accuracy or their mobility or their ability to read defenses decreases in some way that affects their game, and it affects it in a very pervasive way. Like it affects every single thing they do. So the game on, game off success like that, I don't think it's the age. I'm sure that plays some role in it because he can't make up as well for mistakes with speed or with mental acuity or whatever because you're getting older, right? Obviously, but I don't think it's his age that's causing this. I think the team. I think there's something going on that roster right now because look at Mike Evans. He's one of the top 10 receivers in the NFL, and he's doing jack shit.
He's invisible. Gronk is invisible. Yeah. I have Gronk sitting on my bench in half my leagues. I don't know what's wrong with Leonard Fournette, but it's a strange team. They're still 6-3, so there's hope, I guess. But it's weird. And then last but not least here for the NFL this week, I'll give a shout out to Craig Dulesky. The Dolphins are 5-3 somehow. They beat Arizona with Tua as their quarterback, who I hate. I still think he's not the dude. And
what were his stats in that game?
He had 248 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not terrible.
Dolphins are a wagon against the spread right now. They're 6-2. So
6-2, and by the way, and it's their defense who's scoring all of the touchdowns for the Dolphins. Like it's crazy. I would have to imagine they're leading the leagues, like their scoring defense is leading the league.
I can look that up.
It is pure insanity to me, but good on them, man. I think they had a different plan going into this year to tank and try to get some good players, and now they're stuck at 5-3, man. They got to go for the playoffs at this point.
Their 5th defense total, like not points scored, but the amount of points they keep their opponents to is Miami's 5th.
5th, yeah. They've got a great defense, man. So, look, and then last but not least, man, Aaron Rodgers making a subtle bid for MVP. I would probably put him at 2 right now behind Russell Wilson. He had 4 more touchdowns, man, and they're beating the spread and just kicking ass this year, dude.
They're doing well, yeah. I mean, we'll see how long it lasts. I don't know what Aaron Jones is doing, really.
He's been hurt.
Yeah.
He just came back this week. He looked pretty good. He's on a couple of my fantasy teams.
Yeah, I mean he's in Green Bay good enough, right? I mean they're working with half the talent that Kansas City is. Let's be real about that.
Yeah.
Like Green Bay doesn't have anything approaching a Travis Kelce, or I mean let's be honest. Other than
that Robert Tonyan dude could look pretty decent in 3 or 4 years, but he's definitely not Travis Kelce.
Not
body wise, he looks good.
Kelsey and Kittle are.
I agree. They're in a league of their own.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on with all that, but I do know that Rodgers is pretty good at making.
Devontae Adams has had a fantastic year.
He's
Aaron
good.
Jones has had a great year. He was hurt for a couple games. He just did a presser right now, about an hour ago, and they said, "Hey, it's safe to assume you love working with offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett, who's been mentioned for head coaching jobs." And Rodgers says, "I hope he doesn't go anywhere." And then he paused and said, "Unless I do." I think he's still pissed about that quarterback pick at the end of the first.
Maybe he is, and maybe that'll affect.
I go back to your theory, though, what you said at the beginning of the year, man.
Worked.
Yeah, you called it.
Whatever it was that they were planning on doing with Jordan Love worked.
Yep.
And I don't know why he would be butthurt about it, because it's the exact same thing they did with him and Brett Favre. I mean, what the fuck is the problem?
Sometimes you just need competition there. Look, dude, people hold a grudge against shit. It is what it is.
That's really stupid.
I understand it, man. Before we hop into sponsors and everything else, there's a couple things I'd like to go over. First of all, Sean Avery was on the show yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my very favorite interviews in podcasts.
Yeah, he's great.
That I've ever done. And, man, what a fucking fun.
Not afraid to ruffle some feathers.
Funny dude,
That's
man.
for sure.
And he is welcome back anytime. We got a bunch of messages today, and everybody was like, "Yo, was that guy like that in real life?" Yes. He was just the coolest, man. And, that was one of the funnest interviews of all time, and I really, really fucking enjoyed Sean Avery.
Yeah, we'll definitely have him back soon.
Love to, man. You were always welcome, sir. That was a pleasure, man. It really was. It was like we love doing this job. We love doing it every day, and it's a blast. But there's a few times where you're afterwards just like driving home on a high. Sean Avery was like, "Holy shit, that was a great one."
Yeah, he's a man that truly doesn't give a fuck
at all. And then before we get to the sponsors and then cover the spreads for all of it. By the way, we're doing everything this week from mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles your deposit. Dan and I will be doing college football and NFL. Fake Dan will be doing the Masters. I have my own Masters pick. And then Giorgio will be doing the UFC card this weekend. So we will not leave you hanging for any of these bets. This is a monster weekend for gambling this weekend.
Your Masters pick is going to be like your Habib pick. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we'll see. I'll throw a sleeper in there too. All right.
Okay.
We'll go with that. But I mean, to be fair, before you got here, I did pick Bryson at the first tournament of the year. So people were like, "No, fuck you," and he's turned out to be exactly what I thought he would this year.
Yeah, but that's going to be a hard dude to bet on, right? Because he's bringing in a longer driver this weekend just to see if he can hit the ball farther.
Yeah.
That's not
weird move.
It's not. It is what it is.
He's claiming that he carries the ball 400 yards.
I don't doubt it. Those who play with him, we'll see.
What's the weather like there this weekend?
So we got a storm coming in.
I mean, if he gets a gust behind him, but yeah, they do have notoriously fast greens there, so that'll help.
Yeah, that'll slow it down.
It's going to be like people are just going to line up. If he has 130 yards in every on that number 13, the par 5, it's game over. Yeah, it's done.
Well, I mean, I would love to see it. What's the longest drive in an official PGA event? Does anybody know? I mean, you've got.
It depends where you are. There's tournaments in like South Africa where that doesn't really count.
No, I don't care about that
because of the altitude and all that shit.
Yeah.
I will say this: when I took my dad to the Masters, we camped out at 13, and it was a blast, dude. It doesn't get any better than the Masters. A tradition unlike any other.
Holy
I wish
shit.
I could play the piano right now.
Davis Love apparently at Kapalua hit a 476-yard drive, but that's off a cliff or some shit. Isn't it?
And I think there was wind out there in UAE.
But that's how it is, though. I mean, you're not going to be able to get a consistent number out of that. I wonder what it is at the Masters. Let's see, longest drive
at the Masters.
Would
it have been daily?
No. Not.
Let's see.
It's got to be someone current, probably like JT or Rory. DJ, probably DJ, I'd imagine.
Outdrive history at the Masters.
He does a lot of blow.
Who's that?
DJ.
He's
married to Gretzky's daughter.
I don't think they're married. I think they're engaged. They had one of those like decade-long engagements.
Yeah, man, because it's a lot of drugs and then sex.
Mm-hmm. That's how you do it, though. You just have that
dude.
engagement and you just keep riding out. Because it's the same as being married.
Sex disguises love. Love disguises sex. I understand it, dude. I understand it with her
Love described as robots.
And I mean, I'm not going to pick him because there's no value, but DJ's going to win this weekend.
Oh, you think he is going to win?
He's going to win, but I'm not going to pick him.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. The one thing that I wanted to ask you about,
I can't figure this out. Look, find out what the longest drive in Masters history is.
Yeah. The one thing I wanted to ask you about, Dan, before we get to the sponsors here, we don't typically talk about baseball during the off season, but you had said something interesting right before we went on air that you think the Mets will be a dynasty.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think it's coming soon.
Why is that?
Because
they're in the Braves division.
No, no. It's because say what you want about the Mets over the last several years, but they've actually done a pretty good job of at least finding talent, right?
Yeah.
Like DeGrom and the other guys.
Syndergaard.
That have left now or maybe
Sneezeguard.
They've done a pretty good job at developing talent. Unfortunately, they've gotten, like, Jeff McNeil's a really good player too. They've gotten stuck in that old, like, 90s Boston Red Sox thing where you're developing good talent, but you can't really afford or compete with the Yankees or whomever else is out there bidding and shit. So you have to pick up these players in their mid-30s that are kind of good now, but you're mostly overpaying them for their name, like Robinson Cano, for example.
Yes.
They're stuck in a lot of those contracts, so the front office has been bad. But Pete Alonso came up with the Mets. Jeff McNeil came up with the Mets. Syndergaard and fucking DeGrom. All these guys are from their farm system. They don't have problems institutionally. The problem they have is bad management. And now they have a guy, Steve Cohen, who he's kind of like a Jerry Jones type of guy. Like he's a fucking huge sports fan that wants to win. He's a Mets fan that wants to win, right? He's going to spend money now. So they're going to I promise you will see the Mets at the top end of the payroll scale here pretty soon. And it's a process, right? So 3 to 5 years it usually takes to do something like that. The Braves hit on it a little earlier than they should have, and you're seeing the results of that now. Hopefully it doesn't slow their progress. Because it was a 3 to 5 year plan. And they got where they thought they were going to be in 5 years at 2.5 years. Yeah. But you have to keep building so you can actually win that title. Braves, please, for fuck's sake, do that. But
the Dodgers did it. I will say
the Dodgers did it, and it took them fucking 6 years basically to fucking after putting that team together to do it. But that's what I'm saying with the Mets. In the division they're in, like the NL East is going to become dynastic in its own right. The Phillies have a really good team, and they have money to spend. Yeah. The Mets now have this guy that's going to fucking spend like crazy. The Braves have a great young team that's going to be great for a long time. Even the Marlins, fucking Mattingly won Coach of the Year in the National League because of what he did over there. And they've got Jeter, so they have a person that actually really understands baseball making moves for him now. With the Mets, this Cohen dude, man, I'm telling you, wait and see the trades that he makes and the contracts that they sign over the next couple of years. I believe in 2025 to 2030, I think the Mets win 2 championships.
Wow.
That's a long out bet. Anything could happen. The fucking Mets.
I'm trying to think. When's the last time they won? 88?
The last time the Mets won?
Yeah.
The Dodgers won in 88.
Yeah, the Dodgers won in 86. That's
against
right.
Against the fucking Red Sox.
It was
Billy Buckner. Yeah, that was the last time. But they've had great teams. They just never were able to put it together. We even had the Subway Series. Was it 99, I think? Yeah. That was a good one. They got, what did they get, fucking swept or some shit? They got lit the fuck up. But anyways, the Mets in that market with that guy running the show, that's good for them. It's very, very good that worked out the way it did. And that it didn't end up being like some group of investors, like A-Rod and all those turds.
It was going to be A-Rod, J-Lo and all of them, and they were pissed when they didn't get it. And, I don't think it's good for baseball celebrities owning teams like that.
No.
So it's like,
now you want a guy that wants to win. I mean, look, Jerry Jones has not been great for the Cowboys. Let's be real about that. But he does spend money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If he's loyal to a fault, that guy. Like, he loves Dak Prescott. Like, he thinks he's his kid, and he doesn't want to let him down. He doesn't want him to leave, right? But this is a business, Jerry. And Texas is not happy with you right now.
And hey, look, man, if I'm Dak Prescott, I take the money.
Yeah, whatever they'll give me.
If there is a contract at that point. We get some sponsors who pay for this shit wagon to be on the air. Then we're going to get to all the spreads. Fake Dan, would you mind grabbing me a ranch water? These guys were kind enough to sponsor. Which show do they do? They did the debate show. I'm a big fan of these guys.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, big fan of these guys at Ranch Water here. This is the Lone River one, too.
Lone River?
Our first sponsor. Look, they've been with us all year. They are our chief sponsor for the sports show, KillcliffCBD.com. Best in the biz. That is my nighttime night drink. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. They're doing it.
Yeah.
They're doing it the best in the business, man. They got grape original. And the original is actually Orange Kush, if you're wondering. The strawberry and that grape, dude. Look, the grape's my favorite. And they got mango also. But 25 milligrams of CBD in every single can. You will not piss hot on drug tests. There is no THC at KillcliffCBD.com. They're a massive company. They would not do that to you. 80% of our audience is military and first responder. And, dude, we know you guys got to take drug tests. They would never do that. It is great for aches and pains and joints and all that other stuff. And, man, having a can of that at bedtime, whew, good to go. There's a game tonight that I'll pop on. Have a can of that and watch it. Next up, we got mybookie.com. Yo, promo code Drinkin Bros, 20% off and free shipping at KillcliffCBD.com. It was dumb of me. Been hosting 9,000 shows and I don't know the fucking Drinkin Bros is the promo code? Come on, Ross, you're better than that. 20% off and free shipping. I've pretty much just got it on a 3-case order at this point.
Yeah, same.
That and, dude, First Leaf, man. At tryfirstleaf.com.
Yeah, I've actually got some First Leaf on the way to my house.
So do
right
I.
now.
I just 6
bottles.
So do I. I just got the email from.
I get
from
6
UPS.
bottles a month though.
So do I. Same, and it's only $79.
Yeah,
like for forever. So I'm like,
yeah,
dude, I'm
that's
all in.
The best deal of all time.
And they had an offer for like 12, and I was like, how much is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's still it's an even better deal at 12 if you drink that much wine. But 6 bottles is a good bit of wine for me, I guess.
Same. I'm at 6 right now. When we just keep it for like guests and all that shit. Yeah. Like my wife.
I give a lot of it away for gifts and shit now too, because I have so much wine. But yeah,
and the holidays, man, it's great.
It's they've got a lot of stuff going on actually for the holidays.
Look, I don't even know if they're on the schedule today, but I'm just a gigantic fan.
No, they are actually. Yeah, they're a little farther down the list. But
oh, really?
Yeah.
Fuck, man. I was just saying just a second. Tryfirstleaf.com/Drinkin Bros. Look, if you don't know the deal for this, it is 6 bottles for $30.
Right.
And you take this quiz, and you just kind of go through what you like and don't like, whether it's sweet or not sweet or whatever. What countries? If you like a Shiraz or a Malbec, if you're a big Bourdain fan, you like a Malbec. They got all of it on there. So it's wine from like all over the world. Some of the ones that are coming today, I think, are from like New Zealand or some shit. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff.
This is one of the very best sponsors we've ever had.
It is. I love it too because we do so much of this shit that it can be difficult to just go home at the end of the week and relax.
Yes.
Because I'm still collecting information all weekend, trying to see what's going on, making sure things are going well. It's nice to be able to just get home and crack open a bottle of wine and just fucking do nothing. Sit there and drink it and watch some stupid bullshit on television or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's everything is so goddamn stressful these days.
Go to tryfirstleaf.com/Drinkin Bros and you get 6 bottles for $30.
Yeah.
So if you try it, I mean, shit, it's $5 a bottle. It's great. The holidays are here.
Yeah, it's
and that
time
shit's
to stock
like
up.
3 days, man. It's great. That is the best deal you will ever have on the planet here.
Well, it's 6 bottles for $30 plus what's $29.95 technically, and free shipping as well.
Yeah.
For 6 bottles of wine, that's
all I had to pay was like tax. It was like $2,
yeah.
man. It was $31 for them to ship me 6 bottles of fucking wine.
It's probably costing you shipping wise probably $15 if they're charging for shipping.
Easily. On 6 bottles of wine? Yeah. Best in the biz, man. Tryfirstleaf.com/Drinkin Bros. Last but not least, we get mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles your deposit. That's where we're betting all of these games. I feel like I say it a million times throughout the sports show, so it's reductive at this point. But look, we've been betting with them all season. Not going to stop that train now. Go to mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros will double your deposits when you get there. All these spreads that we read today will be on MyBookie. I'll do the ones from ESPN. He will read off the ones from MyBookie, so that way you can see who's actually gambling them and how the spreads have changed. But, dude, it's all day MyBookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros. I'm on that website. You know, it pops up on your phone which websites you're on the most. MyBookie's on there.
Yeah, same.
Junkie shits. And then last but not least, ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. Finest mattress in the lands. 30% off if you're a member of the military or first responder, a teacher, or work in the government. Right now, they're giving us dummies. I just found out a couple hours ago. They're giving us dummies the same deal for the month of November. So, you know, if you're a civilian out there, a normal dum-dum like myself, you get 30% off. You also get 2 free pillows with a mattress. That deal is back, which I can promise you, the pillows are just as great as the goddamn mattress. Ghostbed has never missed, man. I have never had one bad review on Drinkin Bros from this. And when you go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros, you will see reviews from our listeners. So it's not like fucking strangers or like rigged things. Like you'll see a bunch of fucked up shit. And I like the fact that they do that. So like I feel like we're all a community here that listens to the show. This and American Party and Ross Patterson Revolution, all that stuff. And like, dude, it's all, you know, all these people. Like all the reviews on there are from people who actually listen to the show. So they're not making it up, and we wouldn't fuck you over on a bed, man. That's too costly.
Yeah. No, they're the best.
Best. Go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today. Best sheets, mattresses, pillows, adjustable bases, all that stuff. And then you can bundle it all together for, if you want to, for a 36-month pay-as-you-go program and no interest there, which is key. Knock it down to like $35 a month at ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. Let's hop into what we have left of the college football season here, because
it's not much.
This college football schedule this week is light. If you're looking for some value picks, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Fake Dan this week. I can tell you that. As always, we only do the top 25. Dirty Dan will have his filthy pick of the week here, which is usually not a top 25 game. But Friday nights, we're kicking off with Cincinnati against East Carolina. Sorry, you guys. Sorry, Pirates fans. You guys are passionate. You're loyal, but you are shitty. You're a shitty football team. You've not been good since David Garrard has been there. It is Cincinnati minus 27.5. They are daring you to bet this game at this point.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, I don't think I can do it. It's actually at 28.5 now.
God damn it. I was going to take it at 27.5.
Well, you can still buy a point.
You can, but at that high.
Man, that's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points, man. I know East Carolina's terrible. I bet you Cincinnati covers, man. I have been the Cincinnati whisperer all year long. I have not missed one of these spreads for Cincinnati this year. But that's a lot of points, man.
56.
I will take them in a teaser, probably a 6-point teaser, but right now it's Friday. I'll probably avoid that game. But it's at Nippert Stadium if you're in there in the Cincinnati area and you're looking to eat some Skyline chili and go shit yourself.
They're basically expecting a 43-13 game.
Yeah, which is I'll say it's even higher, man. I bet you Cincinnati drops 56 in this game.
Well,
this
if they do,
over
that
under,
would be the over.
Yeah, dude. I bet you it's like a 56-7 game. No lie, in this fucking thing, man. I bet you're probably fine with the over, but I bet it's close. But I'm not gonna touch this. That's too many points. I've been great on Cincinnati all year, but if that many people are betting them, fuck that, man. It's Friday night and that's some junky shit, but whatever, man. That's a lot of points. Next up on Saturday, we got Miami, number 9, 6-1 against Virginia Tech. You tested this theory out a couple weeks ago, and you were correct on this. This is a 4-3 Virginia Tech team against the number 9 team in the country, Miami. Virginia Tech is favored minus 2.5.
Well, it's minus 1.5 now because nobody believes Vegas.
No, and they're betting Miami on this one. Who you got?
It's hard to believe that Miami would lose this game, to be honest.
That's where I lean. I'm going to take Miami.
Yeah, I don't even with this bet. I don't understand. Are they missing players or some shit? What's happening? Why is it like this?
No. Look, it's the ACC, and anybody besides Clemson is a wash this year. So who knows, man? These games are
Maybe it's because they had so much trouble with NC State.
Close.
I mean, who knows? I don't know.
Who knows? But I'm going to take Miami in this for sure, and I'll probably put this in a 6-point teaser as well.
Yeah,
this next game is fun, man, because the Indiana Hoosiers have not had a good football team never. They've never had a good football team. They are currently number 10 in the nation at 3-0. They are playing Michigan State, and they are favored at -7 in this game.
7.5.
So it's going up. All right. So if it's 7.5 on my bookie, that means everybody's betting Indiana on this, and
they looked awesome. They looked like gangbusters against Michigan. Michigan State came off like maybe one of their worst losses in school history outside of the Rutgers game this year.
Yeah.
So they've looked terrible this year, other than the Michigan game, and for that reason, give me Michigan State plus 7.5.
Man, I would.
Because that's how shit rolls.
I'll take that. Actually, I'm taking Michigan State as well.
I'm actually going to do the opposite. I'm going to take this down a point for Indiana and get this at 6.5 and say that Michigan State game was a fluke.
So we're making the same bet then.
I'm taking Indiana.
Well, I know, but you're taking Indiana
6.5
with those points, and I think it's going to be a 6.5 point game too, which is why I'm taking Michigan State at 7.5 because I think it's going to be a 1-score game.
So we could both win in the end.
Yeah,
we could interclass.
I mean, it's essentially the same bet. It just depends on how you fucking position yourself.
Correct.
In there, so it's important to understand that if you want to gamble like semi-professionally, which is kind of what we do.
It is, man. And like, look, there's spreads that I'll beef up through the roof on a 6-point teaser. And there's also spreads like Monday's game, the Jets game, man. 10.5 was too many points for that game, I thought, and I took the Jets on that. But I understand it. Next up is Coastal Carolina, 7-0 against the men of Troy.
Enjoy this, Coastal Carolina fans, and everybody else that plays against them, because this is the last season ever you'll hear this team's name, right? They're not going to be great again next year.
No.
There's no way. Or if they were, it'd be great, honestly, but I don't think that's the case. So enjoy this. Pretend you're LSU.
Pretend it's real.
Last year, and just soak it all in, because it's not going to happen again.
It's -11 for Coastal Carolina.
It's 10.5 now, actually. I think Coastal Carolina is going to fucking whoop the fuck out of Troy.
1-1 against the spread.
Yeah, I'm taking fucking Coastal Carolina on this all day at 10.5 right now for sure. They're probably going to win by fucking 18 to 20 points.
So Troy is always good for an upset. Every year they play somebody super close and they fuck up somebody's dreams, man. I have a hard time betting this game, so I am going to sit this one out. Fake Dan, you've been the Coastal Carolina whisperer this year. You were the one that brought this team out of the darkness into the light on this program. Mm-hmm. No one had ever heard of them. I'll let you decide here on this, because I'm not going to touch Coastal Carolina.
I mean, you can make an argument just by mentioning them on this podcast. They got ranked because of that.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they did.
Yeah.
They definitely did. It was because of Drinkin Bros that Coastal Carolina is ranked.
I mean, you just got to keep riding them till they lose again.
That is spoken like a true loser right there.
Mm-hmm. Nope, 5-1-1 against the spread. I mean, every year there's one team that just like goes off against the spread, and I think Coastal's that team this year.
I'm gonna pull up Troy real quick, because
they haven't the last 2 years. They haven't really beaten anybody. They beat Nebraska in 2018, and they beat Coastal in 2018 as well. But aside from
that, they lost to BYU earlier in the year, 48-7.
Yeah.
They beat MTSU 47-14.
Yep.
Texas State, who's terrible. ECU or EKU, Eastern Kentucky. Forgive me, all you Eastern Kentucky fans. They lost to Georgia State barely, but Coastal Carolina smoked Georgia State. You could be right, man. I'm not going to touch it either way. I'm not going to put my dick in this one. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to do it. Next up, we got Middle Tennessee against Marshall. McConaughey is not coaching this game, and it is Marshall -23.5. And that is a lot of points. I understand Marshall is undefeated and they're 6-0 and ranked number 16 in the nation, but no, I don't do that with
Middle Tennessee might be a top 10 like bottom team in the country.
Yeesh, they're 2-5.
They're terrible.
Terrible. I don't touch a game like this, man.
I mean, there's plenty of other shit. Even with this thinned herd, I guess if you want to call it that, there's still better things to bet this week than this game. For
Yes.
Sure.
Now, I think the next one, Liberty, was that your money line pick last week that you won everybody money on?
Yeah, it was by kickoff. It was plus 500, so
Yes.
5-1.
And there was a Drinkin Bro in Drinkin Bros Sports. By the way, if you're not subscribed, go to Drinkin Bros Sports on Facebook. It's free, and you can see all of our live bets. We actually put the actual betting slips in there on the day. Dan told everybody to take this money line. There was a Drinkin Bro in there in Drinkin Bros Sports who won $1,000 on that Liberty game last week. So cheers to you. This is against Western Carolina. This is a weird one. Western Carolina has no record. They're 0-0. And there is no spread. Do you have a spread on my
No, there's
bookie?
no spread. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's because they haven't played a game yet, but I mean, that's never stopped people before. Vegas still wants people to gamble, so I don't know why there's no spread on
Can I
this.
pose a hypothetical?
Hey.
Western Carolina does not exist, and it's maybe the whole team was on the plane and lost with Matthew Fox.
So it's, well, I don't want to give away the ending of Lost.
You can. It's purgatory.
I've never seen it.
That's purgatory. You guessed it from second episode, man. Those writers were super lazy for the end of that one.
Yeah, well,
whatever, man.
Same with Game of Thrones. But anyways, back to Liberty, Western Carolina. I can't figure out why there's no spread.
You got is because Western Carolina is 0-0 and they haven't played this year?
Or they're an FCS team, and they might be under a different tab.
Oh,
on
are
my bookie.
they FCS? So
Here's the deal. I look at people's logos like this that I don't know. They have a decent logo that looks familiar where I'm like, oh, yeah, Western Carolina. That's a thing. Maybe it's not. Maybe they just have a really great logo department.
Probably not.
Like a good GFX guy.
Yeah.
There. Next up, we got South Alabama. That's Louisiana. Louisiana snuck into the top 25.
There's a spread on another site. It's minus 33.
Oh, for Liberty?
Yeah, but nothing on my bookie yet. Wonder why.
It's on ESPN 3, by the way, which I didn't know was up and
Very
running these
curious.
days. Yeah. This Louisiana game is minus 15.5 against South Alabama. Yeesh.
Yeah.
I don't bet games like this, man. I still don't believe in Louisiana as a real team in this life. Therefore, I don't touch it. We're gonna get one of Dan's filthy picks here at the end of this, but unless it's this one, is it?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Good. You fucking filth trash bag.
It's a worse game, actually.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Boy, here we go. Notre Dame, off of their double OT victory against Clemson, is the 3:30 game on ABC against Boston College. It's Notre Dame minus 13.5. You know, I understand why this spread is where it is. Look, Boston College played Clemson pretty tough. They beat the spread. We called that one, won a bunch of money. Notre Dame, man, seems to play down to their competition. I guarantee they put this at 13.5 because 14 people wouldn't bet it, you know?
Yeah.
This is exactly where this spread should be. Yeesh.
I'm going to watch it. If it goes,
I am too.
If it goes up, I'll probably, honestly, take BC with the points.
I would say, so that's exactly what I was going to say. If this was 14.5, I would take BC plus the points. They're going to be on a letdown after beating Clemson, man. The students rushed the field. People on Twitter were upset, but then they weren't upset when Biden won, and they stormed the streets of New York. So I don't get it. To me, the kids at Notre Dame deserved a party like that. It was awesome to see.
Yeah, it's a big win.
Yes, it was awesome to see. It was great. Kalen Cothran is in the running, by the way, for the Sarah Williams Award.
Yeah, he's going to, I mean, that's going to be rough until they play Clemson again and get fucking shit stomped.
Oh boy, I'd love for them to play.
But
Ohio
hey,
State
I mean,
in the playoffs.
say whatever you want about the backup quarterback and all that bullshit. They still fucking had to go out there and win that game, and they did.
They did.
They did a good job. I mean, to be honest, if
Clemson would have stopped Ian Book picked him apart, man, at the end to tie that game. It was I didn't know he had the stones like that.
Yeah, that's why I don't know that.
It was impressive. I was the first time I've ever been impressed with Ian Book ever.
Yeah, well, I mean, more so not impressed with Clemson's defense throughout this whole year.
Oh yeah,
actually.
yeah.
I think they've got a real problem. I don't think just seeing their defense against Notre Dame last week. We'll see how it develops throughout the rest of the year and shit. I don't know if they were missing players or whatever the fuck was happening, but if that's their defense, then they're not going to win a national title.
They were not missing players. I think that goes to a bigger overarching theme here is that I haven't seen a great defense in college football this year, including Ohio State,
not really.
Alabama. Dude, there's been some teams that have put 40 on Alabama. I don't know whether we're just done with defense in college football.
Maybe.
But I don't think Ohio State's defense looks that fucking great. So I'm not even saying that to shit on the rest of the schools. Ohio State's defense looks like shit to me. So it could be whoever scores the most points this year wins the national championship. We'll find out. But if this goes up to 14.5, I am definitely taking Boston College in this one because I think it was a big win last week. A lot of energy expended, and now you got to fly to Boston and deal with all that travel and all that shit.
Yep.
Matter of fact, man, I might just buy a point and take it up to 14.5, or on that 6-point teaser, take this at 19.5. That's probably the best play.
Yeah.
I'm a dude I think. Next will be at USC at Arizona. I watched USC last weekend. This is USC minus 14.
They're definitely.
They should have lost that game.
They definitely should have lost that game, but they are fully committed to the pass.
Yeah,
it's fucking like Washington State before homeboy left. I mean, they're gonna run the ball maybe 10 or 15 times a game, and they're gonna throw the ball every other fucking play.
The over under is 67.5 in this one.
Well, Arizona hasn't even played a fucking game.
No,
yet.
they haven't played yet because look, they're just getting cranked up here in the Pac-12. So I watched that USC game. They were playing the lovely ladies at Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you. You need a shoulder to cry on. Obviously, I will be on a flight, and I will be out at Arizona State with those ladies. But look, man, they were down by fucking 13, and then they came back, and they got an onside kick and all that shit. USC ended up winning the game. This is not the number 20 team in the nation. Mm-hmm. Betting the trap 12 at minus 14 for USC against Arizona, who hasn't even played yet.
Do you trust Kevin Sumlin, though?
No.
And I mean, this is post Khalil Tate now, so.
Yeah. No, I don't. But I don't trust the Pac-12, to be honest with you. Dan and I have a rule on this show. I know you're new, but we do.
You don't like Pac-12 after dark?
No. We hate the trap 12, dude. We
Pac-12
hate it.
after dark that's how you get your money back.
Fucking
yeah,
win.
that's not how
Hawaii
life works.
is how you get your money back at that midnight game. You always go the over on Hawaii, but
they're different though this year because they have Todd Graham as their coach, and he's kind of a hard ass. He's not traditional Hawaii. So
Hawaii, I think you're pronouncing that wrong. It's Hawaii.
Hawaii.
I don't touch this game, and it wouldn't shock me if USC lost the game. To be honest with you,
I have no idea.
I think USC rolls.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, Arizona. What do they got? A good defense or some shit?
No.
Come on.
Arizona State.
No way.
I think Arizona State's good, and I think Herm Edwards threw that game to teach those young men a lesson, because that's how Herm Edwards rolls.
No.
It's bigger than winning and losing.
It's not.
It's about teaching life lessons.
Nope. You got to win the fucking game. The trap 12 is awful. I will never bet on this shit. You're not going to fucking bait me into this one either. I'm not going to do it. Next up, we got Arkansas. It's not your Kansas. It's our Kansas. It's playing Florida, who just blew the doors off of Georgia. I was really incorrect on that pick last week. It was a bad call by me, and I apologize. Florida minus 17.5 in this one at home. It might be the only SEC game playing this weekend.
Yeah.
Look, Arkansas is shitty.
They are not.
They're not great.
They are bouncing back.
They're
Sam
3-3.
Sam Pittman was the best hire of any coach this year.
I'm gonna run you through their wins and losses here. UGA 37-10. They got rolled.
Yeah, it's fine. He came into a bad situation, and he's turning them around. He's making them competitive.
Well, we're talking about this game, not
This
next
game,
right?
They lost to Tennessee last
right,
week.
But
man.
they lost.
Yes, 24-13. Oh no, they
No,
won
they
that
won.
game. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. They lost to Texas A&M.
It's a good loss.
It was
Georgia's a
relatively
good
close.
loss.
Auburn 30-28.
I don't know, man. Florida's still giving. Forget about Arkansas for a minute. Florida's given up a lot of points.
A lot of points. 17.5.
For an I mean, it's a common theme in the SEC this year, which is it's notable because you don't usually see that. But they've been giving up a lot of fucking points.
Pittman's out with COVID though, so you have Barry Odom taking the reins.
Taking the reins as head coach there for.
Not sure how I feel about that, but I will take Arkansas and the Razorbacks plus 17.5. Felipe Frank's revenge game.
Felipe Franks was the quarterback of Florida last year. The guy was awful. You and I were at the Florida Miami opener last year. We got to see Felipe Franks in person, up close and personal.
Camping World Stadium, which is the worst stadium of all time
ever invented in the United States of America.
I hope it burns down and just
never comes back.
Never comes back. It's the worst.
That's too many points to touch on this. However, I'm going to put this in a 6-point teaser and get this up to 23.5. I'm gonna put a fat ass teaser down. So subscribe to Drinkin Bros Sports on this Saturday. I feel good about that. Next up, we got Oregon versus Washington State. Again, the Trap 12 has just started here, so they got Oregon at number 11. This is -10 for Oregon at Washington State. I still don't bet the Trap 12, man.
I don't know what's Washington State now. Like, what's their?
Well, they don't have Mike Leach.
Yeah. So what's their offense or defense even look like right now?
So they got the coach from Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Oh, so they're just gonna keep airing it out.
Yeah.
But probably not go for it on.
Is it June Jones?
No, June Jones is long gone.
He was the coach of the Falcons. He was an Hawaii coach as well.
It's Rolo. It's what's
gross. His name? Yeah, I know you're talking
They
about.
actually have
Nick Rolovich.
Yeah.
They have this Deion McIntosh kid, running back. He rushed for 18 carries, 147 yards last week.
Yeah.
That's not Washington State.
No, it's
typically.
not.
So I don't know how to bet this game now because they've actually got a run game for the first time.
Good for you guys. I'm going to pretend that – you know what I'm going to do, Dan? Because this is a shortened season for the Pac-12. I'm going to see if I can not watch one more game the rest of the year of the Trap 12.
Oh, have you watched one of their games already?
On accident. I caught the end of that USC-Arizona State game because I was waiting for another game to start.
It's a great game.
I was angry at myself.
It was a good game.
It was. If you like junior varsity like athletics and shit like that. I mean,
do I have to ride for the Pac-12 here?
Yeah, gross.
Good
Tell
luck.
me, when's the last time the Pac-12 won a national championship? 2005?
Well, one that counted?
Definitely not 2005. You
saying.
can't be saying 2005 in Texas, in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Reggie Bush's parents are still living in that house that Pete Carroll bought him when he was playing in college. Next up, we get SMU 7-1 against Tulsa. This is Tulsa -2.5 in this one. No thanks.
Yeah.
No thank you on this. What's your soup of the day? Great. I'm not having that. I will get the regular. I'm going to get that Brock and cheese. I'm not betting that game. You?
No.
It's at Tulsa. So
Yeah. This is basically
What
a
does that
pick'em
matter?
game.
You can get tickets though.
weird
on
shit happens in
DrinkinBrosTickets.com.
Tulsa. Like, there's never a normal game in Tulsa.
It's like Trump
No.
says, weird bad shit happens in Philadelphia, weird shit happens in Tulsa.
Yeah.
The next one is relatively decent, but we don't know who's playing here.
Well, it's not because Michigan sucks.
They suck.
Even with
but
their full squad, they're terrible.
I think, Fake Dan, who is the starting quarterback? Can you look that up for
It's
Wisconsin?
Milton. For Wisconsin.
Yeah, we know who it is for Michigan.
It's
Kid's
going to be
awful.
that
Is it
kid.
Danny Vandenboom?
So look it up. But Wisconsin is at Michigan. It is Wisconsin -4.5 in this one. If it is the second string or higher, I'm going to take Wisconsin because Michigan looks horrific this
Yeah,
year.
they look really bad.
Really, really bad.
Wisconsin's starting quarterback Graham Mertz,
Oh, he's back?
but he's still
in protocol.
It said could return for Saturday's game against Michigan, so we don't know if
He could return.
I would wait. You'll know by Friday if he's going to play or not. I would think.
So it'll be him or Chase Wolf.
Yeah.
If he passes
Okay.
protocol as well.
So set a Google alert on your phone, and as soon as that information comes out, try to make your bet immediately because Vegas will adjust the fucking spread.
Yes, they will, and they will jack this through the roof.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and beat this in advance. I say Graham Mertz plays, and I'm going to take this spread right now at 4.5.
I don't even think it matters. I think Wisconsin runs the ball down their throat
Yeah.
like they did last
I mean,
year.
Michigan's the only thing they've really had going for them the last couple of years is a pretty solid linebacking
Defense,
core
yeah.
defense, and it's not the case anymore. So, good luck.
I'm going to go ahead and sneak in a hundo here on Wisconsin at 4.5, and because if Graham Mertz plays, they fucking win by 20. I'm in on that kid. Let's do it. Next up, we're starting to get into the night games here.
Well, there's only one.
Actually, everything else has been canceled. We'll read that depression in a second. Northwestern. It's number 23, 3-0. Snuck in there.
Get fucked.
Yeah, against Purdue. They're favored by 3.
They're looking good.
My grandfather got his PhD from Northwestern.
Did he really?
Yeah, he went to University of Chicago for his undergrad in psychology. Then he got his PhD from Northwestern. And guess what? They suck at fucking football.
Yeah.
Every now and again. Well, that's not
Remember
even
that
true.
dream season they won?
Yeah.
They went to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, that was. I think that's the only one though, right?
Yeah.
What was that, like 1997 or some shit?
I wasn't even born yet.
Well, that's not true.
Yeah, and I was a very young boy. Was not probably born.
Wait, what year do you think that was? When did
2005 is what my guess. Or 2003.
You guys don't believe in Peyton Ramsey?
I don't believe in any of
It
these
was
two teams.
1995.
It was shit. 25 years ago.
That was the only good season they ever had.
Congratulations, Northwestern.
I don't remember who was on that team.
Proud of you. I don't either.
Was there anybody good on that team?
Sam Newtonson Heiselberg of the Heiselberg family.
I think one guy's name was Believe Northcottson.
Yes. We believe and believe. That was the slogan for that entire year. Now for the depression here, kids. Postponements. Alabama, LSU. LSU is amped about this. They would have been 2-4 after this loss. That would have been bad. However, Alabama rolls. I don't know what happens if they make this up. We'll find out. Ohio State, Maryland has been canceled forever. This game will never last, and you'll never see it. Ohio State's probably doesn't need this game, so
no.
Thankfully, this is. I don't need it. Next up, Texas A&M canceled against Tennessee. Probably good for Tennessee fans.
That one's postponed.
It is.
All of the rest of these are postponed except for the
SEC.
Ohio State game.
The SEC has time to make this up, but the Big Ten doesn't, man.
Well,
next one up is Georgia, Missouri. That is postponed. Sorry, Giorgio. And then Auburn against Mississippi State. Let's face it, none of these mattered.
No.
Not one of these mattered, these games. We could have picked the winners on all these fucking things. It would have been good for gambling, but it doesn't matter for the playoffs, in my opinion. Let's flip-flop over to the NFL again. All of these spreads are mybookie.com, promo code Drinkin Bros. The Thursday night game is a filthy one. This is a little turd squirter, this one, man. Colts-Titans. I hate betting this game. I hate when you have teams like this where it's a -1 spread, where it's just like, man, is Derrick Henry going to run for 1,000 yards? Because if he does, then they win, right? It's Tennessee -1 against the Colts. The Colts are coming off a loss to the Ravens. Oof. Man, that is a tough Thursday night game to bet, man. Gut says give it to Henry and let's go. Let's ride with let's tighten up.
No, I'm taking the Titans here.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm taking the Titans.
I'm sorry, I'm taking the Colts.
Oh, you're taking the Colts.
Yeah, the Colts give up about 80 rushing yards per game.
A great defense, man. Run defense.
Granted, Derrick Henry is not the average running back, but he still can't run through every solid object. At some point, somebody's going to tackle him. Man, that defense is really good. I mean, in Indianapolis, it's really good.
It is.
I feel like you're neutralizing the Titans' most effective weapon. The real question is whether or not Phillip Rivers shows up and plays football or not, right? I mean, is he going to fucking have a good game or not?
All right.
Tennessee's their passing defense, it's okay. I mean, it's not great. They're in the lower third of the league in passing yards allowed. So that's a good recipe for Indianapolis to win this game. Mm-hmm. However, everybody still has to do the shit that they're going to do, right? At one point, that's a pretty risky bet.
Yeah, dude. It's a real risky bet, and for that reason, Thursday nights is our last practice for the Blue Dragons before our championship game. Before I become a head coach, champion of the world. Obviously, I'll bring the trophy in and everything else. I'm going to put all of my energy that night into the Blue Dragons, and I'm not going to bet this game. It'll be a great game to watch, so I'll be amped when I get home to see this because both teams are good and they're playoff teams. But this is a really, really tough game to bet on. And I think the spread is exactly where it should be because this could go either way, to be honest with you. And I don't have a solid argument for either team. So
both of these teams will probably end up in the playoffs.
I agree.
I would say there's a better than average chance that one of them will win a playoff game as well, depending
or both.
on who it is. Yeah, it could be both. Yeah.
Could be both, unless they play each other. Next up, we got the Texans against the Browns. This is Browns -3. I think Baker Mayfield is out of the protocol, but I think it's also supposed to rain that day. So, man, OBJ is out for the year. Kareem Hunt is playing him. You'll see a steady diet of him. And I think Nick Chubb is coming off the IR for this one. But, man, bet this game at your own risk. This is a shitty weekend for bets, man, to be honest with you.
In the NFL so far.
In the NFL, yeah. I'm gonna go heavy Masters and then UFC. But we'll see. Washington against the Washington football team against the Lions. There is no spread for this yet. I'm assuming it's because they don't know if Alex Smith is going to start or not.
Right. I mean, he played last week.
He did, man, and he looked all right. Kyle Allen is out for the season. Got a little broken ankle.
Wait, did Stafford get put on the COVID list too, or some shit?
He did, but he came back and played on Sunday. So
he's cleared that
he's
shit
cleared.
now?
Yeah,
Okay.
so he's able to play. But I'm assuming they're trying to figure out who the starting quarterback is. What I can't figure out is what they're doing with Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, I mean
He's
probably
not hurt.
They're going to try to trade him, I would assume.
It's too late.
Or they're going to release him outright. I mean, like sometime next year.
Yeah.
I think they'll probably release him, to be honest.
Strange, man.
Yeah,
one would think you could at least get a pick for him, though.
You'd think so, but I mean, if people don't want to sign him, then they don't want to sign him.
I don't know what's going on in this Washington organization, but man,
Seems weird.
it's strange, man.
Like why you knew?
Why he was like the 15th pick or something?
Yeah, you knew exactly who that guy was, and you picked him, and then he played the way he plays, and you didn't adjust your system for him, and it didn't go well. I mean, you should expect all those things to happen, right?
And he doesn't have any offensive pieces around him except for Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
Ron Rivera didn't draft him.
No.
So it's not his guy.
It's not his guy.
That's true, but that's
and he's
kind
a
of
cock. So
yeah. I mean, that's kind of a stupid reason to let your team fail. But I guess ultimately you want. I mean, like
want what you want.
Parcells used to say it. If I'm going to do the cooking, I want to fucking shop for the groceries too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is. I guess it definitely wasted an entire year of their season, but he's dealing with other more important things right now, like cancer. So
who is?
Ron Rivera's got cancer, right? Didn't he have?
He did have. Yeah,
And he was in treatment, but I think he's back. I think is he back coaching now?
Yes, I believe he is. Yeah, Ron Rivera is there.
Yeah,
He's there. So either way, there's no spread on this. We're not betting this fucking game.
Yeah.
And sorry about it. Next up, we got the Jaguars at the Packers. This is Green Bay minus 13.5. That is a lot of points. And it looks like it will rain on Sunday at Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
Man,
I mean,
that's a lot of points. Yeesh.
The Jaguars are very, very bad.
They are. They're very bad.
They are in the bottom third in the league in passing and run defense.
They're 1-7, so they're in contention for either Lawrence or Fields. Man, maybe they throw the rest of this. Ugh, that is a lot of points. I will take
They're
this.
giving up 31 points a game right now.
Yeah.
So
and I'll take this
yeah, I'll take this.
probably in a 6-point teaser. But man, dude, it depends on what this rain is like too.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
I'm probably just going to take the Packers straight up.
This is gross.
It's down to 13 now. Actually, I'll definitely take it at 13.
So that means people are betting the Jaguars.
I don't know why they would be doing that. I mean,
don't
Aaron
either.
Rodgers is on fire, and he's going up against one of the worst defenses that exists.
Yep, and maybe human history. Next up, we got the Eagles against the Giants. Awful game. This is Eagles minus 3.5. Dirty Dan, this is your team, the Eagles here. Take the homer out of you. Are you taking the Eagles?
I like that we're just getting these games out of the way.
Yes.
We just played the Giants. Fuck it, play them again.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? And that was a terrible game, 22-21.
We came back.
You did, but you had your face pressed up against the screen.
Election show, yeah.
Yeah, on the election show.
Or debate show.
Debate show, yeah. Look, man, I actually like Carson Wentz. I'm like one of the few people who does.
Yeah, I like Wentz.
I will take the Eagles in this game actually, and I think they win by a touchdown. They're on their way to winning this division. They're 3-4-1. They should be in first place.
Yeah, I mean they're
This is a big game though. Giants have three wins, right?
2 wins.
Okay,
2 wins.
two.
Yeah, but
2
even
wins.
then, I mean, if they lose, then they're in the same category there. But
What's the incentive for the Giants?
the Eagles, there's no incentive for the Giants.
The Eagles will make the playoffs.
Yeah,
I think.
the Giants should be trying to get the
'Cause this
best
division's
draft
so
pick they
bad.
can. They
Yeah.
should be trying to find an edge rusher that is a game-changing edge rusher. That's what they need right now.
I agree.
To go along with the offensive weapons they built. But they've got a tough. I mean, the Eagles have a tough road ahead. They got to play next week. They play the Browns, which we'll see this week whether or not that's going to be a tough game or not. Probably. But it probably will be a tough game. Then they play the Seahawks, then they play the Packers, then they play the Saints, then they play the Cardinals. I mean, fuck,
Yeah.
dude.
I
All
wanna-
those teams are going to probably beat them.
I think. Well,
they
not
play
the
the-
Cardinals, maybe, but
We finished with Cowboys and Washington.
Cowboys and
now.
Washington, yeah, and those are
well, look. So if they win this week and then the last two, let's chalk up the last two, and I'll give them the Cardinals.
that's six
Six
wins.
wins.
Yeah.
7, 8, and 1.
We're not beating the Cardinals. No chance in hell we're beating
I don't
the
think
Cardinals.
they'll. I don't think
I think you will. Is it at Philly?
No,
no,
it's in Arizona. No,
Well-
no chance.
I'll still put them at 6, 8, and 1, and you'll win the division because it's the worst division in football.
I mean, shit.
Right?
The Cardinals.
Who else is going to beat them in that division?
You know what's funny is
We would be 6, 9, and 1, right? So, yeah, that wins the division, I think.
Yeah, that'll win it. That'll win it for
It
him.
wouldn't be the first time we've had losers. Like 7 and 9 teams get into playoffs all the time.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that Marshawn Lynch Seahawks team,
Yes.
and then they spanked the Saints, right?
Yeah, they lit them up.
So
man.
I'm gonna go Eagles on this one. I think the Eagles win, and I'm gonna start Carson Wentz in fantasy.
You know the
this
Cardinals
week.
are only one game behind the Seahawks in that division.
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
that they're the only division that every team has a winning record in it.
Yeah. Well, no, not after this week. The 49ers are 4-5
That's
now.
right. No, they lost. Next up, we got the Buccaneers against the Panthers. Man, toss a coin in the air and see which Brady you're going to get, because I don't know. It's Tampa Bay minus 5.5. Who you got in this?
Is there any pattern to it yet?
Every other game. So if you're going by that model, then
Because he's on pace. I mean, he's got 20 touchdowns already.
yeah.
He's like 4th in the league in touchdowns.
Yeah.
Let me-
If you're gonna follow the pattern every other game, so this game they should win.
Let me look at his game log here.
I bet it's Brown. That
It's a
game
nice,
log.
It's a nice chunk. I'm just looking at the rating. So the first 3 games of the year, he wasn't very good
Okay.
in general. Well, the first 2 games of the year, he wasn't very good. Third game against Denver is where he started playing well.
Mm-hmm.
Then he played 2 weeks well in a row.
Yep.
Then he had that game against the Bears where he fucking sucked.
Yes.
And then he had a pretty light game against Green Bay, but they still won that game handily, and that's probably the reason why he had a light game.
Mm-hmm.
But he still had a 105 rating. Then he went 127. Then he went 106.1. And last week he was 40.4, right? So his ratings, it's 2 bad games, 2 good games, 1 bad game, 3 good games, and then 1 bad game.
Hang on, real quick here. So there was an update. Somebody said CMC is out of this game here. Says Christian McCaffrey out of that fucking Carolina game. Look that up. Did he just go down? God.
Wait,
damn
what
it,
happened?
man.
Was he got?
I'm not sure. It was. It's Aya.
Just says not expected to play Sunday.
Oh, he's got a shoulder injury, so it's a
Are
different
you
injury.
fucking kidding me?
Yeah. So take this bet right now.
Yeah, I saw that live against the Chiefs. He kind of went down hard and was grabbing at his shoulder at the end of the game.
Damn it, man.
No fantasy luck this year.
No,
folks.
dude. Take the Buccaneers right now.
Yeah.
Is it still 5.5 on my bookie?
Hang on, let me check.
Bet it right now. If you're watching this live on
Yeah,
YouTube,
it's 5.5.
Bet it right now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bet this game right now. Yes, all in on Tom Brady right now. Fucking.
I can't believe the spread is still there. I mean, when did this get announced that he was
right
out?
now. Right, I mean literally right now. But fuck him, dude. Bet this as fast as you can.
Yeah.
If you got Mike Davis, start him in fantasy. Man, if you're catching this tomorrow, the spread will probably go up to 7.5. I would imagine. We're taking the Buccaneers as this is happening. I appreciate it. Who shot that out? Aya shot that out on live on YouTube. Next up, we got the Broncos against the Raiders. The Raiders have looked pretty goddamn good this year. They're 5-3. It's -5 for the Raiders, and I don't understand why.
I mean, I don't understand why necessarily either, except for I think there's a pretty good chance the Raiders get beaten here because they're looking at next week where they have to play the Chiefs again. And I think that's a big deal for them. If they go out there and the Chiefs spank them, then it seems like their success this year is a fluke. That's a big game. It's got to be weighing on him right now, particularly David Carr, who didn't even know if he was going to be part of this organization this year. You know what I mean? And now they're having some success, but any hint of failure that comes out, and this is a divisional game against a team that you just beat, that's got to be weighing on your mind. And, you know, the Broncos is another division game as well. Yeah, they're 3-5, but they're not a bad football team.
They've played some teams close this year.
Yeah, they're missing a lot of people, but they can put it together and win. And again, it's a matter of which version of their players show up to play. Like what are Melvin Gordon and Drew Lock going to do now? Jerry Jeudy is listed as questionable, and so is Noah Fant.
Jerry Judy's been a beast this year.
Noah Fant is also listed as questionable, so I wouldn't bet this early in the week. Actually, I would probably go with the Raiders.
I was gonna say I'm taking the
that.
Raiders this week, so I'm gonna take this and bet this now.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna put this in a 6-point teaser, so don't fuck me, Raiders.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the Chargers against the Dolphins. Yeesh. This is Miami -2.5 at home. You can get tickets to this on drinkinbrostickets.com for as low as $55. Chargers against the Dolphins. Look, man, Herbert has looked pretty fucking good this year. And they've been competitive week after week. I have such and I hate Tua, man. I have a hard time betting this game. This this is one of the worst weeks of football gambling in a while, man. I will never trust myself to take the Dolphins unless it is a monster spread. I've done it once this year, and it paid off.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it, though, man.
I mean, the Chargers.
Is Austin Eckler ever going to come back and play, too?
I don't know.
He's been fucking hurt for me all goddamn year.
Yeah.
The hamstring injury for 90 weeks.
The Chargers defense has propped them up for a long time, I feel like. It's not as good this year as it has been. Obviously, it's not even close. They're basically a middle of the road defensive team right now. Now, the Dolphins are not. They're a very, very good defensive team, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't. It's not like they've been fucking completely shutting people down or whatever the fuck. But they're ranked top 5 in a lot of defensive categories as a team right now, which is interesting to see because you don't think of that from the Dolphins. You look at some of the games they've played, like they held the Rams to 17 points.
Yep.
That was a big deal. I mean, look, the Rams are offensively inconsistent, but it's funny how this is working out because Tua is going to get some early win-loss success, but his personal success is not going to be there because he's not good enough to play in the NFL.
I don't think he is.
So it's going to be interesting because they're going to win a lot of games, a lot based on how much they should win because of how good that defense is. And it's going to seem like, oh, Tua was a good decision, and all of a sudden, to go to the next level, they're going to make it probably next year to a playoff game or something, and they're going to get fucking destroyed.
Next year, he might do it this year.
Maybe
they're
5-3. I don't know. I mean,
all they got to do is win 3 more games. 4 more games.
But the AFC East has got the Bills in it. I mean, we'll see if they're a wild card team. Maybe
wild card team. That's what I'm saying.
But I mean,
the Bills have that on lock.
It depends. The NFL has a program in place. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this. It's in case the season has to get shut down, where they instead of taking 14 teams to playoff, take 16 and just play out the playoffs and forget about some of the regular season stuff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was part of the agreement they came to. This week.
Okay.
So that's kind of a new thing. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But I don't know if I see them. It's 7 teams from each league, right? So the Chiefs and Raiders are probably going to be in there.
Yeah.
The Colts will probably be there. The Titans will probably be there. The Ravens for sure, and the Steelers for sure. Likely some, and then the Bills. There's no room left for Miami this year, I don't think. But we'll see how it goes. I definitely think they'll make a playoff. I think they'll make the playoffs next year. And they're going to get fucking torched. It's going to be like when if UCF had ever actually played Clemson or Alabama. Right. That's what it's going to be. Yeah. And then
Dirty Dan is so fucking angry.
He's getting butthurt over there.
So Foss.
No, look, I'm not going to bet this game though because
I'm not either.
Why the fuck would you?
No.
I mean, I don't want to have to watch that.
I don't want to have to watch it either. But I think the Dolphins, look, they could be 6-3. If they go 6-3, they're making the playoffs, man. There's nothing you can do to stop that. Next up, we got the Bills against the Cardinals. There is no spread on this game. Do you have one on my bookie? There's no.
Yeah, it's plus -2 Cardinals.
-2 for the Cardinals? Mm-hmm. Shit, I'm taking the Bills. I'm all in on the Bills. I've been great picking the Bills games this year. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Bills pass rush, I've been saying this for a couple of years now, is one of the best pass rushes in the NFL.
But their secondary can get beat.
Their secondary can get beat, and that's a problem when you have a mobile quarterback that you can't get down to the ground. I think this game might be a problem for the Bills.
I'm going to take it anyways. I'm with you, Bills fans. And with the 6-point teaser, I can get this up to 8 plus 8. I'm good to go on this. I like it.
The problem the Cardinals have is that Kyler Murray is also their leading rusher right now. Like, you don't want that.
No. Well, look.
But who the fuck is even a running back there? Kenyon Drake from the Dolphins a couple years ago.
He's terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
they got nobody, and they obviously got rid of David Johnson. So. Yeah. We'll see. Next up, but I'm definitely taking the Bills in this one. Are you? Okay, you're not touching this one?
Nope.
Next up is the Seahawks at the Rams. This is the Rams -1.5. Look, man, I was correct on this game last year.
I like how there's no over-under on it.
And I'm going all in on this. I'm going to take the Seahawks.
The over-under is 55.5. I'm probably going to take that under, to be honest.
I'm taking the Seahawks to win this game.
Under.
There's no way they lose 2 in a row. They got fucking crushed last week by the Bills. I'm taking the Seahawks in this game.
I mean, it's -1.
Yeah.
Right now.
That's great. I'm taking it. I love it.
So people are betting.
I love this game. I'm gonna print this game out and wash it all over my body.
Yeah. You're
Probably use
right.
it as a loofah. I'm taking the Seahawks. They're not going to lose 2 in a row, man. Russell Wilson is probably the MVP this year, and
I mean, he's on pace for 56 touchdowns right now. So we'll see.
I'm all in on the Seahawks on this game, and more importantly, there is no spread, so they can't fuck it up.
Rams have a pretty good defense too.
They do, but
They may actually be the best defensive team in the league. They're giving up 19 points a game, man.
They're close. But Seahawks, I'm taking. Next up, we got the 49ers against the Saints. This is New Orleans minus 9.5. Saints have quietly crept up to 6-2.
Yeah.
Drew Brees is 900 years old, but he threw 4 TDs last game. Boy, 9.5 is a lot of points, man. Is Garoppolo starting for the 49ers, or is it Nick Mullins?
That's a good question. Let's look. But the Saints have won 5 in a row now.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do in the NFL.
It is not easy to do in the NFL, and 9.5 points is a lot of points.
Yeah.
This might be one that I jack up and teaser to 15.5.
Mostert's out, so it doesn't really matter what.
No, but
who's
Tevin
playing
Coleman's
quarterback.
coming back. Tevin Coleman's coming back for the boys. Look. Saints aren't a team that blows a lot of people out anymore. 9.5 is a lot of fucking points. Niners are 4-5 somehow, even with all the injuries. So I'm going to take the 49ers in a teaser in this and get this up to 15.5.
Yeah, it's the wins and losses for the 49ers are kind of interesting. Like they lost to Arizona opening week. And they lost to the Eagles and the Dolphins. It seems like teams just have really good games against them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Interesting.
Especially
that
the
happens.
Eagles.
They're missing their best defensive player too. So I don't know. I mean, I don't like giving the Saints or the Seahawks right now. I don't like giving them either one of them a lot of points. Like, yeah, Drew Brees might come out and show out, but he also can't throw the ball more than 10 yards. So if there's a defensive scheme that the 49ers run that interferes with his ability to do that, then they're going to have big problems, right?
Yeah.
To me, it's not a good bet.
I'm going to take it.
A 9.5 spread with a 49 over/under. That's a fucking shitty game.
Too many points for me, so I'm going to take the 49ers. I am.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take this in a 6-point teaser again at 15.5. Next up, we got the Bengals against the Steelers.
Oof.
I don't have a line on this.
No, there is no line.
It's supposed to be a rainy, cold game, though, is what I'm told on this one. And Jerry Jeudy did not practice today, by the way, for the Broncos. So. I'm still in on that game.
I might actually watch this game.
Bengals and Steelers. I think this will be a fun game to watch, actually, especially if it's raining and all that shit. Look, Burrow's a gamer. What's the spread on this? There's not one on ESPN.
No spread.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Oh, shit. This is the game that the Steelers have 8 players with COVID. That's why.
Yeah, but
No, they have not cleared the protocol, including Roethlisberger. And right now they have Roethlisberger is out.
What is the NFL's protocol?
Some motherfucker in fantasy football tried to trade me Roethlisberger this week. Granted, my team is terrible because of injuries, but dude, no. I think Roethlisberger is out of this game with COVID.
He might be. Yeah.
I'm almost positive. That's why there is no spread on this. Boy, you might want to take the Bengals, man. They always play. They always play. Or whether or not they're going to play this game is the other question.
Yeah.
Who knows, man?
They may postpone this game outright.
Strange time, man. This Sunday night game typically would be a blast. It is Ravens at the Patriots, but the Patriots are fucking awful this year.
Yeah, they're bad.
This is the Ravens -7 in this game. Look, people have figured out the Ravens offense this year, but the Patriots are awful.
Well, their defense isn't.
Yeah, their defense is good, man. So I'm going to buy a 0.5 point and take the Ravens and say they continue to roll. And Lamar Jackson figures this out this weekend. Not for the long run, but for this weekend. And looks like the weather will be all right up there that night. So, yeah, I'm going to take this at 6.5 and take the Ravens.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to take that.
Okay.
It's too this seems like a risky game. I think Lamar Jackson is in his own head right now.
Okay.
I think he's not physically, but mentally regressing as a quarterback right now. You can see it. The decision making isn't as sharp as it usually is, and he relies on that. If you're going to work in those tight spaces like that, your decisions have to be instant, and correct most of the time. Otherwise, you fuck yourself over. Like, you put yourself in a very dangerous situation when you're mobile like that. I don't mean physically, like physical injury. I mean the windows for success narrow,
right?
In a lot of ways. And now it does open up passing lanes. Yes, that's true. But the precision required to do that has only been accomplished long term by a few people over time, like Steve Young, people like that. You know what I mean? It's not been done very often, and it's notable when it's done properly over a long period of time. Cam couldn't do it. Fucking the other guys that have been drafted to do it, like RG3, people like that, couldn't do it.
I agree, and I've been saying this for a while, and I got hammered last year because he won the MVP, but then they ended up beefing it in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, I think he just needs to decide who he's going to be. Is he going to be Lamar Jackson and be that for 5 or 6 years until he can't do it anymore, or is he going to try to be something else and be mediocre for the rest of his career? I think he should make the decision to go balls out, honestly, because that's not the way it looks. Don't try. Why are you trying to turn this guy into a pocket passer? What's the benefit of that exactly?
I agree, man. Let him go for fucking 6 years, burn him out, and see what happens, man. But I'm still going to take the Ravens at -6.5 here. I watched that Patriots game on Monday night. It was fucking awful.
Yeah.
I just don't believe in the Patriots. And, there was a Patriots fan who made a great point, who just said, like 8 players sat out for
well, that was Blackjack.
Yeah.
From Paula.
That's right.
Paula Dugan.
And he was like, dude, eight defensive players have sat out this year. And, like, it shows. The defense sucks.
Yeah.
Usually the defense is pretty goddamn good. They're not. So, for that reason, Ravens. Monday night game is awful.
Oof.
Vikings 3-5 against the Bears 5-4. And Minnesota is actually favored in this by -2.5. Minnesota, for being 3-5, man, has played relatively well. But, man, should they be the favorites at Soldier Field? No. No, not going to bet this game. Not going to bet this game. Let's get to Dirty Dan's filthy picks of the week here. Who do you got in college football? Who's your filthy picks?
Well, my filthy pick is usually only in college football, but it's going to be UNLV plus 15.5 against San Jose State. I picked San Jose State last week. I was on their side. Nick Starkel went down with the injury. Nick Nash came in. They actually beat San Diego State outright.
Right.
So you didn't even need the points. But they're coming off that big win. They're feeling themselves. You got the backup quarterback. Try to see if Starkel's going to be in the game. But the only article that had a paywall, so I'm not going to pay for that. So, yeah, no, I'm just going to go with UNLV and points, 15.5.
The only article that you could get the information from had a paywall, and I'm not going to pay for that.
Yeah.
This is why you get Dirty Dan's filthy picks of the week here.
Running Rebels.
It keeps getting better. I don't even know what night this game is on.
Saturday.
Is it a night game? I'm assuming it's in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
All right, so you're taking UNLV.
I think it's actually in San Jose. Yeah, San Jose.
Either one. You're still West Coast. So you're going to take UNLV minus 15.5.
No, plus 15.5.
Oh, plus they're getting 15.5. Okay.
Yep.
Great. And this is not a money line bet. You're taking the points.
No, I mean, I'll tell you when it's a money line.
All right.
No. But they're not winning this game, but they're losing by 2 touchdowns. They're going to barely cover. You might backdoor this.
Oh, God, dude. Having to watch a team that, if you everything that you just said is a 1.5 spread, to watch a game like that all night and just have my butt cheeks clench for a 1.5 victory, not one prayer in this life would I bet this. That's why you're Dirty Dan. These are your filthy picks. Do you have an NFL one?
No.
Okay. No NFL pick. Let's move on to the Masters. This is it. This is your favorite sporting event of the year, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Can you hum the jingle? You worked for the Golf Channel,
yes,
right?
they will sue us. I can't. Like,
That's true, yeah.
They are the worst.
Yeah,
People,
they give
Augusta comes after everyone.
They give Bob Menery so much shit for reposting clips.
Oh, they pulled it, man. They wouldn't let him post any PGA clips.
Why are you stopping people from promoting your shit?
Yeah, it's crazy,
man. You have to pay, I think, $10,000 for 30 seconds of Masters footage. It doesn't matter when it's from.
Oh no, yeah, It's and they keep shit on tight. Like, look, the Masters is the only event where you can't bring phones in, cameras, nothing. They pull all that shit from you. It is the greatest sporting event I've ever been to in my entire life. But
that's probably why
it is, because you only have your memory, and it's amazing. There was a rumor. I can tell this story now. I couldn't tell it then. There was a rumor that if you paid one of the photographers there, they would take a picture of you and your dad or whoever you took to the Masters, and then they would email you the picture later. But I guess they got popped, and once you get popped, you can never go back to the Masters again.
No, if you lose your badge too, it's what, like
$85,000.
Yeah.
Holy
so
shit.
I had to sign a waiver for me and my father. So total, if I lost those Masters badges, it was $170,000, and it's just a pin-on badge, by the way. It's not like it's around your neck or anything else. It's an old school.
Good
like,
luck enforcing that. That's the dumbest thing of all time. I'm going to go get one and lose it on purpose.
Well, the reason why,
like, you can't fucking do that.
the reason why is they're in families passed down for years and years and years, and they don't want you giving it up. I understand it, and I think it's that's why I think it's the greatest event in sports too. And you walk in, look, if you believe in God and all that stuff, like that's what heaven probably is, and you can eat sandwiches right off the green. I would eat food right off the ground there. It's that nice. I love it. That was the greatest experience ever. With that being said, this is Masters weekend here. I have said on the show for the last couple of weeks, I'm going hard on Bryson DeChambeau,
Bison.
which is now, by the way, at 7-1 at plus 700.
Yeah, no thanks.
Before the show started, it was at 6-1 though.
You get that on like Sunday, unless he's winning by like 6 strokes. You can get that similar odds on like Sunday.
Okay. So now I'll go with my other guy here. I'm going to go with Brooks Koepka at plus 1,600.
He heated up on Sunday.
Yes. So it's
He's
it's
turning it on.
16-1. So that is my those are my top twosies picks for the Masters this year. Who do you got?
and he's a big game hunter. So.
He is. This will be his 5th.
Yeah, and I think he has 4. No. This would be his 5th major.
Yep.
But I think only like his 7th or 8th win.
Correct.
So like
He's
he
a
only,
big game hunter,
he
dude.
only wins
Yes.
majors. He doesn't care about anything else.
Correct. That's the way it should be, by the way.
The guy who's going to win this week is a guy I'm not going to pick, but I'll just tell you who's going to win. It's Dustin Johnson.
DJ, you got DJ winning this.
DJ's winning this, but obviously 11-1. There's no value there. I'm going to go with Louis.
By the way, he's at 8-1 right now in my bookie.
He's 8-1. Okay, so he's 8-1. So yeah, even worse value. I'm going with Louis Oosthuizen. He's
55.
Let me scroll down this list here. 55-1.
He has a major. He's a major winner.
He is, yes.
And he has the career Grand Slam of second place finishes. So every major he's finished second place. And
That's kind of a dubious record to have, though.
I
Isn't
know.
It
It's
is.
like, it's like being the all-time leader in home runs in the minor leagues.
Yeah, exactly.
So the reason you bet him is for Sunday on 13. He's going to make a birdie putt, and Jim Nance is going to be like, "Don't forget about Louis." And you're going to have that like moment of like excitement of like, "Oh shit!" But then you forget all the leaders are on the hard holes, and all the easy holes are coming in. From
Correct. Amen corner and all that shit. I want to ask you about a couple other guys here.
Yep, of
Because
course.
I'm shocked by some of these odds. Right. Jordan Spieth. I thought he was going to be the next Tiger. He is at 66-1 right
He's
now.
lost, man. He's in his own. He's in his own head.
Okay.
Like he's in the wilderness. It's all upstairs. It has nothing to do with his like
That
physical
makes
ability.
me sad, man.
He's like almost. He might be the next David Duval.
Oof. I hope not.
I hope not either.
That's a tough one, man. That's a long life full of therapy in that one.
I wouldn't touch him.
The other one, the other two that are interesting to me here on this list, Adam Scott at 45-1. I don't hate that.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
could
he
be-
always shows up.
Yes, that'll be a top 10 finish, I think. And then Justin Rose, man, at 60-1.
There's value there.
Yes.
but he's kind of faded away the last few years at Augusta.
And then
He didn't even make the cut, I don't think, last year.
no, for some of the fan faves here, Mickelson is at 100-1.
No thanks.
No, me neither.
Here's a bet on mybookie.ag or .com.
.com, yeah.
Just go lay the minus 225. Bubba's going to be the top lefty. Like, it's between Bubba and Phil, and like Bubba's.
Is that a prop bet?
It's a prop bet on the sportsbook, mybookie.com. You can go lay minus 225. Bubba's beating Phil.
There's a lot of props, actually. But, yeah, that's a pretty good one to
That's
bet.
an interesting one. And Bubba, as far as overall, is 28-1. That's not a bad pick. You were talking about possibly betting him.
Yeah, no, I think this could be a Bubba year.
Okay.
Bubba for the Masters might be the San Francisco Giants, where like every few years they just kind of pop in.
He just pops in and
Get their
wins
major,
one major here. Tiger Woods is at 35-1. Any shot here
No.
for Tiger this year?
No, defending champ. At this point, like last year, was everything. Whatever we get moving forward from Tiger is just kind of like a bonus.
Right. What was for Tiger? What was his meal this year? What did he pick at the Masters for everyone to eat?
So he did a little surf and turf. He did sushi and fajitas.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Those two definitely don't go together.
No.
But that's Tiger Woods for you.
Yeah.
Weird guy in real life, by the way.
I'd imagine, you're a child prodigy.
Yeah.
And your dad raises you to do nothing but golf.
But he does have Masters pedigree. He's one of 3 people that have won 2 in a row, right?
Yep.
So he is going to tie. If he wins this year, he would tie the record for most Masters.
Yes.
Which would be awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be great for sports and everything that's going on in the world right now. D'Anthony, who do you got in the Masters this week?
I got to tell you, I don't give a fuck about the goddamn Masters, dude. I can't think of many things I care less about than a bunch of fucking turds. Golf's not a fucking sport.
No, it's a game.
It's
a fun game.
nonsense.
Fun.
Well, it's
I
fun,
really
enjoy
hard
golf.
game.
fun
I
and
enjoy
frustrating.
golf.
There's a lot of skill involved. I don't mean to say that it's not difficult. Obviously, it's difficult, but don't care.
Can I
It
give you
is-
another bet?
There's too many white people.
I got a few
think
more
that's the
bets.
problem.
Good. Yeah, fire away.
So this is for tomorrow.
Freaks me out.
So you need to get it in now. First round leader.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be 80% chance of rain. They might
Okay.
not even finish tomorrow because obviously with the time restraints and everything, they're starting early.
Well, Etta's on the way, right? That hurricane.
Yeah,
or
you got
whatever.
Hurricane Etta, but it should only affect really Thursday with the rain.
Okay.
Tyrrell, don't call me Tyrell Hatton. 33-1. First round leader.
I mean, if you want to get weird,
No,
by
man.
the way,
Yeah, go ahead.
if you want to get weird, just go down to the bottom of the list and put $1 on all these fucking 100,000
Not
to
the
1
old
plus.
guys.
Larry
It's like-
Mize.
You never fucking know what's going to happen.
None of these old
Thobel.
assholes are going to.
Old Thobel, dude, is it 400,000 to 1?
Probably, yes. And that's where it should be, by the way.
Yeah, do not run out. They got to stop running out these fucking old dudes, man.
Well,
There needs
they've
to be
got
a limit.
they've got a lifetime pass, right?
Sandy Lyle needs to get fucked.
I
Like,
will give you a first
Larry
round.
Mize, get out of here.
I will give you a first round leader. That is a long shot. Freddie Couples
Okay.
at 6,000 to 1.
Freddie, he'll be in the mix. You'd be like, is Freddie
He's
going to
like
make the
600 to
cut?
1, yeah.
Yeah.
Freddie might make the cut. And then-
Freddie might be the leader after day 1. I'm going to put some money on that because it'll be a long shot just to do it. But
I think it's going to be kind of like a big gun on Thursday, too, that jumps out early. Like Tony Finau would be another good first round
Yes, I agree.
leader. He's not going to win.
No.
I can guarantee Tony Finau will not win the Masters. But he might lead after the first 2 days, first day.
So my 2 are Bryson and Koepka, and then you're going, who are your 2? You're, Oosthuizen and who?
Oosthuizen, I'll go.
And you said Zach Johnson's going to win this thing.
No. I'll go with.
Dustin Johnson.
Dustin Johnson's gonna win, but I'm not gonna bet on Dustin Johnson.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. My 2 bets are gonna be Louis Oosthuizen and Patrick Cantlay.
Okay, well,
he's 25 to 1.
25 to 1.
It's
That's a
little-
decent pick, yeah. All right. Let's move on to the UFC. By the way, all of these bets that we're reading off are on mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles your deposits. We're going to move on to Giorgio's UFC bets here.
Yep.
Since you were talking shit
I wasn't talking
at
shit.
the
I was
beginning
asking
of
questions.
the show, dude, the way you asked it was real fucking spotty here. So we're going to do a lightning round of the entire card, Giorgio. You did great last time, man. What was your final record after that last UFC fight?
Including all the over-unders, I was like 8-2.
Yes, you were very, very good. All right, so
But most importantly, all right, so it's UFC Fight Night. We're in Las Vegas. We're in the Apex Center.
Correct.
What that means?
Smaller.
25-foot ring.
25 foot
Smaller ring. Who
yes.
does that help? Punchers, aggressive fighters.
Yep.
Who does that hurt? Guys who are coming in late, don't have the time to train their camps, and who are going to be winded. They don't have places to run. They don't have places to go. So look, catch out for that.
Who is coming in late?
We'll get to that
Yeah.
at the end of the
Exactly.
pick. So
Exactly.
6-day camp.
All right, so let's hear the first.
Eric Anders, Antonio Arroyo.
Yes.
Eric Anders, old Alabama football player.
Yep.
Brick shit house. He's like I think he's 13-5 in the UFC. Antonio Arroyo, Brazilian, fighting out of New Mexico. So we're really looking at a puncher versus jiu-jitsu artist here. I want to give it to Eric Anders. I think he's just that much more of a developed fighter at this point in his career. Antonio hasn't really fought since 2018. I think the end of 2018. So it's gonna be a first fight back inside COVID. New situation. I look at the more experienced fighter there. We go to the women's card next. Corey McKenna's nickname is the Hobbit. That's all you need to know about that fight.
So are you taking the Hobbit?
Bruh. Moving on.
Fucking dirtbag, dude. Yeah.
Jillian Marquez versus Sadov. The Russian's really coming off quite a bit of losses here, but he's also moving down in weight. So he was a light heavyweight. He's moving down. That's who I got to take on that. Like, Jillian Marquez has fought, 3 fights in the UFC, lost his last one, coming off an injury in 2018. Yeah, you lean the Russian on this one. You look at Saravov, I think is that how you pronounce his name?
Okay. Safarov, probably.
Safarov.
Yeah.
All right. Now we get into another interesting fight right off of that. That's the Abdul Al-Hassan versus Chaos Williams. Chaos Williams is another just brick shithouse fighter.
He's a unit.
Yeah, he's just a unit. I mean, Al-Hassan's probably the better fighter, but I see this like a knockout in probably the third for Chaos. And then that brings us to that main event.
Yes,
the
it
Felder,
does.
the Dos Anjos fight, which I guess
The
all
one
you
that
guys
you
really
foreshadowed.
care about.
Yes.
Yeah, this is pretty simple. Dos Anjos chokes him out in the third, most likely. He's going to get real tired. He's going to try to keep the fight on his feet. Paul Felder can't take down a fucking sign, much less, a
Wow.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu
You gonna
artist.
tweet at him?
No, sure, why not? At me. No, but yeah, Dos Anjos takes this fight. This gets his career back in order. I think just Felder coming in last minute just can't do it.
Yeah, so the over-under as far as rounds go is 4.5. So you're taking the under on that, and you're taking Rafael. Right?
Yeah, Dos Anjos. If you're looking at the record, the common bettor is going to be like, oh, he lost 4 of his last fights. But, these are top opponents. Who'd he lose to? He lost to Colby. Then he lost to Kamaru. Then he gets a big win against Kevin Lee, which kind of gets his career back in order. And then Leon Edwards is no joke. Like, these are top-rate fighters in the UFC. And then you go to Felder's last fights, a loss to Dan Hooker. He beat Edson Barbosa.
Yeah, but the Dan Hooker fight
one.
was controversial. He probably
That's
beat
true,
Dan
yeah.
Hooker.
Okay.
That was a controversial one.
Yeah, James Vick, and then before that's a loss to Mike Perry. This just isn't the pedigree of fighters, and yeah, I just see Dos Anjos taking this.
Also,
Gotcha.
Paul Felder's from Philly, so of course my allegiances lay
Oh, God.
Exactly.
with the Irish Dragon.
Always, dude. Always. For me personally, I haven't missed this year on a main card, on the main event, actually. I haven't missed at all this year. However, I don't like any of these. I don't like this entire fucking card, to be honest with you, man.
No, this is when you get into junkie territory.
Yes.
This is like MMA guys who
Because this is ESPN Plus,
Yeah,
right?
this is why you-
not on.
This is why you pay for ESPN Plus.
Yes, $5.
$4.99 a month.
$5.
You
for
know, as
this.
Dan says, if you're a 30 to 40-year-old with a sleeve tattoo and you start training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you're watching this card.
Yeah, we're getting there. Me and Giorgio. Well,
Yeah,
Giorgio's
yeah.
already there.
Yeah, you guys are already there. So to sum up this gambling weekend for me personally, there is a lot of fucking brutal games. This is a brutal fight card.
Yeah.
There is a handful of NFL games that I like, and then I'm betting heavy on the Masters,
We
man.
got the Masters.
We got the
It's here to
Masters.
save us.
So thank God for the Masters this weekend. I thought for sure this weekend would be too packed full of sports.
Hammer matchups. If
Yes.
you want to keep yourself really entertained, do matchups.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that'll you can enjoy all day. I mean, you can enjoy 4 days worth of golf by hammering matchups, and that's a blast on mybookie.com for real, man. Because look, college football, not that great of picks. NFL, there's a few here. This card is brutal, man. I wouldn't tell you. I wouldn't tell you to put your money on it.
I think the Dos Anjos one is a pretty solid bet. I mean, it's coming off a 6-day camp against a guy who's going to be doing everything he can do to fucking get you on the ground and keep you there. Come on, man.
I agree, but at minus 190, dude,
Yeah.
You're not winning money on on the under. It's 185.
They
So
should
it's
they should let Paul Felder call the fight while he fights.
Yeah, that'd be great.
now that would be entertaining.
Get him, put a fucking
Yeah, just
mic.
mic him
I mean,
up.
you're going to hear everything he says anyway.
Exactly.
That's true, yeah.
Exactly. And then there's nowhere to go on this Thursday night game and this Monday night game. Those are both hard to pick. This is a weekend where if you were up, I'm up pretty big for the season so far. I will bet very, very lightly this weekend. Me personally. But there's a lot of fun shit to watch where it's like, all right, sweet, man. I'll throw this fight on after the college football
Yeah, after
games on Saturday night.
After UNLV cashes, You take that money.
Don't even know where you could find that game. Not even sure that they are showing that on TV, or if somebody has an Etch-a-Sketch and they're actually just going to draw the players on there and let them battle it out. I don't even know where that game lives, but I know it exists and you can bet on it. So you can follow Dirty Dan's picks of the weeks, and then Giorgio, we're going to keep an eye on you this week, because if you're able to call a dirty ass card like this is a shit card, man.
I have no confidence in my picks on this card, but I hope the people do, and I hope all you guys in Drinkin Bros Sports put a lot of money on whatever I just said.
No, those always hit though.
Because I'm pretty high, and I don't even know if I remember it.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, we got the video.
We'll run the tape back.
And I will say this: we're friends with John Anik in real life.
I was just texting him a minute ago, actually.
He was amped that Felder filled in at the last.
They're really
seconds.
good friends, so
yes.
He wants to see him fight.
He wants to see him fight, and I think Felder saved this card to even watch it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool. And look, if Anik's calling him, I'm always in, man. He's the best in the biz as far as MMA for me personally. But bet light this weekend, kids. That is all I will say. Live to see another weekend. But I'm going to bet heavy on the Masters. So that'll be fun. Looking forward to it. Kids, huge show. I don't even know how long this was, to be honest with you. We're going to be splitting this up in the future, though, from college and NFL. Once the COVID shit dies and everything else, and I think this will be its own channel. We'll be doing shows probably about 4 a week here, and then coming back with you on a Friday show. We're looking to do a last-minute wrap-up Friday show for spreads, COVID, and everything else that is going on, because there's a lot, and a lot of this shit is hard to bet. I mean, you take that Steelers game, I don't know if Roethlisberger's coming back. It's a shame they're undefeated.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him go for it, but who fucking knows?
We'll see what happens.
We'll find out. For D'Anthony Holloway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin Bros Sports Companion Show. Good night, everyone.